Hello. Hi, Taro Fox. How you doing? Okay. Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome to Trucking Tuesday. We're back. It's time for more Euro Truck. Surprise. Obviously, we did a Euro Truck stream last week, so this is a bit out of the blue. But if you've been watching recently, you'll know that I'm going to have to cancel next week's Euro Truck, which is why I wanted to do one today to make up for it. I've got carpet fitters coming next Tuesday, so I thought I'd do a stream today to make up for not being able to do one next Tuesday, and that's it. That's why we're doing Euro Truck today. We're also starting an hour early, so hello to all you 2 PM people. This is, I don't think it's the first time we've ever streamed this early in the day, but it's a very rare occurrence. Convoy, single player only today, Truck Spotter, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's as I said yesterday for Minecraft, I want to try and experiment a little bit with the times that I stream. Specifically streaming a bit earlier in the day or a bit later in the day and just trying to figure out what works best. So that's why we're doing 2 till 5 today. We are going to be ending at 5 o'clock instead of 6. When's the convoy, says Truck Spotter? Soon, hopefully. We'll be doing some more convoys again soon. I think now that I've got a smaller mod list as well, we should be able to do modded convoys. Because there's a limit of 100 mods. If you want to do convoys with mods, there's a limit of 100 mods that you can have. If you've got more than that, you can't do convoys. But yeah, we've only got like 40 mods now, so we could actually do modded convoys, which would be really cool. And then we could do we could drive to some of the some of the pro mods areas in convoy mode. That'd be really cool. Hey, it's all been a while. How you doing, Danny? How you doing? When will the convoy be? I don't know yet. It'll probably not be till next month now. I'm having a lot of fun just playing single player, to be honest. At the minute. Do you not start at 3, says Hayden? Normally, yes. Normally we start at 3. We're starting early today. Oh, my wheel. Hold on a second. There we go. Stop twitching. Okay, here we go. Handbrakes on. Okay, where are we, first of all? Because I can't remember where we finished last time. We're at Bad Oeynhausen. That's probably not how you pronounce that. I don't speak German. Okay, 1 second. Not too bad, thank you, Saul. Most importantly, how are you doing? I'm doing good, Danny. I'm doing good. Like I say, good to be back on Euro Truck so soon after the last stream. It's normally 2 weeks between streams, but it's good to be doing it again today. Oh, Norwich! Norwich? Since when? Where did that come from? Interesting. Oh, right. There's actually quite a few new players. Hull! They finally added Hull to Pro Mods. Okay, we might actually try and head over to the UK then today, because we haven't visited the UK in a while. I haven't visited the Pro Mods version of the UK in a while, so drop by mine, says Taro Fox. Whereabouts are you, Taro Fox? Are you North Wales? Why don't you do it every week, says Truck Spotter? Because I've got other things to do, Truck Spotter. I've just got so many other live streams to do. I can't be doing the same stream. I can't be doing Euro Truck every single week, and Minecraft, and Farming Sim, and Train Simulator, and Factorio, and Oddworld, and whatever else. I can only do a certain amount of streams in a week, which is why I have this 2-week schedule. Lincoln, Slough, says Scotty. Okay, there's a few suggestions. We can't actually go to Lincoln or Slough, I'm afraid. The sort of East Midlands is poorly represented. In fact, to be honest, even with all of this pro mod stuff, the UK in general is still not the best represented. I mean, Birmingham is literally the only city in the Midlands that's in the game. But let's see if we can find a job, first of all. We're starting from Osnabrück. We'll see if we can head in that direction, though, towards the UK. Zurich, Linz, Warsaw. Every single one of these is going east. Sheffield! There we go, around Baylor to Sheffield. Perfect. That'll be our first job, then, for today. Is that Wheel of Farm Sim one? It is, yes. Sheffield is my home turf, of course. Well, not quite my home turf. But we can't go to Doncaster. It's not in the game. And we're off. I've switched trailers, by the way. Oh no, I haven't. I thought I had. I might switch trailers because the Casbora, I think, can have slightly larger cargoes on it. I think we can transport slightly larger items with the Casbora than we can with the Schwarzmuller, so might be worth switching it out. Are you not getting a new wheel, says Hayden? Potentially next year I'm going to be looking at maybe getting a new wheel. Early stream, it is Relay. An hour early today. I'm experimenting with starting the streams a bit earlier to see how it affects the viewership. If not, then we can go back to the old, 3 till 6, but I'm intrigued to see if it does make any difference. So good to see more names on the board, by the way. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, we got 9 names on the Patreon board now. Thank you, everyone, for supporting over there on Patreon. Just posted a video on Patreon today, which the rest of you will get to see tomorrow, but if you're a Patreon supporter, you can see it a day early. Very special video that's coming out tomorrow. Is it 2 till 5 or 6? It'll be till 5 today, Relay. It'll still be 3 hours, so we'll be finishing an hour earlier. The wheel seems to be a bit more jittery than usual. I don't know why that is. I mean, it's jittery at the best of times, but it seems to be even worse today. Hi, you okay? I am, Dagger. How are you doing? Never understand these games. You can do them in real life and get paid for it, says Damo. I mean, I could, but by the same logic, I could also become an airline pilot instead of playing Flight Sim, right? I could join the armed forces instead of playing Call of Duty, I could, but I don't want to. Why I play Sims, says Tara Fox. Exactly, you could become a dictator and control what everyone does in their day-to-day lives, but, you could just do it in a video game instead. That's my understanding of The Sims as a concept, anyway. I say this as someone who doesn't play The Sims, so... I go to work and clean, so I just play games that do that. Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, slow it down a bit. Have you ever thought about being a truck driver in real life, says Tom Shucksmith? No, Tom. I've never wanted to do it in real life. Like I was just saying, as much fun as it is to do in a game, I can't envision myself doing it in real life. Big respect to actual truck drivers, because it's a grueling job, and quite thankless, to be honest. They really don't get enough enough praise for what they do. If anything, they get the opposite. All I hear is drivers complaining about trucks. Like, everyone I know who drives a car is constantly complaining about trucks, which to me is kind of the opposite of praising them for a very important and very difficult job. You know, I couldn't do it. I mean, the long hours, you know, it's quite a lonely job from what I hear. Good money, definitely good money, but it's a very skilled job. There's a lot of training that has to go into it and stuff like that. It's just not something that I could see myself doing personally. When are you going to move? The public say when they see 20 crates in the back. Exactly, Taro Fox. Oh, shit, I've just overshot. I was supposed to go down that tiny little lane there. Okay, no worries. I mean, this seems like a safe enough place to turn around, so... Oh, we did just drive into somebody's field there, but never mind. Okay, here we go. I'm going. Oh god, why am I... I should have waited, maybe. Callum gets annoyed at people who can't get their Hyundai i10 past when he definitely can. Oh, I know that feeling. I know that feeling, Taro Fox. Like I say, as someone who doesn't drive but has observed people driving, I get it. I get it. This is why I don't want to drive just in general, because I've seen how stressful even just driving a regular car can be, you know. As a truck driver, it is really hard. Imagine being away from everyone you love, stuck in a confined space with just you and your thoughts. Exactly, just mad fat. And like I say, big respect to you, and big respect to all truck drivers, because it really is a very difficult job and very thankless as well. Like, you really don't get the credit that you deserve for what you do, honestly. Okay, look, why can't we move that? I want to move that trailer. That's the Casbora. Yeah, okay, so just to show you, the Casbora, this trailer that we've got is the Schwarzmuller. That one there is the Casbora, and you can see the size difference between the two trailers. This is why we're not getting any jobs to deliver, like, the bigger tractors and stuff like that, because it's all... I don't think this trailer's big enough for those jobs. Like, I don't think this trailer's big enough for that trailer, specifically. So once we've done this one, I might switch to the because we have got one of those trailers. We got a Casbora. Once we've done this job, I might switch to the Casbora and see if we can transport some slightly bigger equipment. Do you have a driving license, says Tom? I don't, Tom. I only just acquired my provisional a few weeks ago. Literally the first time I've ever even owned a provisional license, let alone a full one. And I only got that because I needed some form of ID while I'm still trying to sort out the passport bullshittery. If you've been here for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about. Low-key missed COVID days. We got so much love then. When it ended, went back to everyone hated us. Oh, that's very true as well, just mad fat. There was a lot of... I mean, I think that was the same for everyone in COVID, right? It was the same for, like, the NHS, you know. One day it's all, oh, let's clap for the NHS, and then you fast forward a couple of years and everyone's just giving shit to doctors and nurses again. It's the same with truck drivers, you know. You got, like, a few months of appreciation and then everyone hates you again for no reason. That's how it is. That's how it goes, unfortunately. Stop. And Loved key workers for about 5 months, then forgotten again. Exactly, Taro Fox. Okay, so we got the baler. It's the Vari pack. I can't see the number, but it's a round baler, little round baler. I don't think this baler's in Farming Sim, actually. I was just wondering, just looking at it and thinking, is this in Farming Sim? I think that trailer is, the Krone trailer there, I think that is. But I don't think this baler is. Did you have a look at that thing, says Taro Fox? I did, Taro Fox, yes. I might talk to you about it later, actually. That one is just Mad Fat? The trailer, yeah. Okay. Go. Why is the wheel laggy in game, says Peter? The reason for the wheel lagging is because the actual physical wheel is just quite old and worn out. Like the dead zone and the wiggling is just because the actual wheel here in front of me is really old and battered. I need a new one. I get this almost constantly whenever I'm playing Euro Truck or Farming Sim. I'm almost constantly being asked, you know, when are you going to get a new wheel? When are you going to get a new wheel? I want to get a new wheel, alright? I want to get a new wheel, but it's not that easy. There's other things. You got to remember as well, Christmas is just around the corner. I haven't even started my Christmas shopping yet. That's going to cost a fortune because I've got like 5 million family members. So I really don't want to be thinking about spending money on myself and on new stuff for the computer until at least January. So again, just rest assured for anyone watching, yes, I would very much like to get a new wheel, but I've just got more important things that I need to be spending money on at this moment in time. So when I've got the chance and when I've got a bit of disposable income that I can put in that direction, I would like to get a new wheel. They need a feature that we can send pics in the live, says Taro Fox. I don't know, I'm not so sure about that one. I think it'd cause more harm than good. I can just imagine how difficult that would be to police. It's like when people ask me to like add text-to-speech, like why don't you put text-to-speech in your live chat? Because if I did, within 5 minutes, the text-to-speech would just be telling me to kill myself every 5 seconds. I know that people would abuse that so badly. I feel like if you were allowed to send pictures in the comments on lives, I would just be constantly having to remove pictures that people were sending. Okay, I need to get across to the middle lane. I should probably mark the next rest spot, actually, because I'm getting quite tired. 4.5 hours till we need to sleep. Let's see Duisburg. It'll be nice to see Duisburg in single player, and not pro mods, where it's completely drowned out by traffic. Okay, why? For some reason it won't... Ah, there we go. Okay, we'll take a slight detour into Duisburg to sleep. In fact, no, wait. No, we don't need to. We can go... We don't need to sleep for 4 hours, so we could easily get to Antwerp, maybe? But then there's nowhere to sleep there. Are there rest points in Calais? There are, but I will not be able to get all the way to Calais. Okay. Oh, there's one here. Just before the border. 5.5 hours. Maybe we could make that. Let's try for that one. We'll try for that one. 5.5 hours. That's where we'll have our next rest. Just from fan members, or can set it when set who can. That, yeah. If it was like for I think that there's some kind of setting that you can have where you have to be followed for a certain amount of time before you can comment and stuff like that. So people can't just join the live stream, follow, and then immediately start leaving troll comments. But then also, I don't know. It's it could work. Yeah, let's get the cruise control on. Try and control our speed today. Why would you decide to switch genders, says Bobo Pill? Good question, Bobo Pill. It's not really a case of switching genders, it's more a case of, like, realising that you are a certain gender. Like, I wasn't, like, a boy, and then one day I was like, I'm going to be a girl now. It was more like, it's more like you always were that thing, but you didn't realise it, if that makes sense. That's to me how it feels. I do have a video talking about how I realised that I was trans and how I sort of went through that self-reflection and came to that conclusion, which I do recommend checking out if you wanna know more. It's the very first video on my profile when you click through. But yeah, it's less about changing genders and more about discovering your true gender. You know, like I was raised as a boy. I was led to believe that I was a boy, but it just never felt right to me. I never felt comfortable that way. And then obviously I started questioning my gender and started to think, you know, would I be more comfortable if I was a woman? Would I be more comfortable if I'd been born female? Obviously, I can't change the way that I was born. I can't change the fact that I am male, but I can embrace my gender being a woman rather than a man, you know. Again, if you want that explained slightly more in detail, check out the pinned video, because it's one of those questions that's kind of difficult to just answer on the fly, you know. I think when people ask questions like that, no disrespect to Bobo Pill specifically, but when people ask questions like that, they tend to be looking for a simple answer, but there isn't a simple answer because it's not a simple question, you know. The answer's going to be long-winded and complex because that's just the nature of how things are, you know. Where are we driving through today, says P? We are currently in Germany. We're heading to Sheffield, back to the UK. We've got a Krone baler. And in fact, hold on, let me just take a quick look on the map. I would say, you know, obviously we played Moss Valley on Farming Sim a while ago, which was based in the Sheffield area. I'd say that was probably around about here somewhere, just southeast of Sheffield itself. So maybe we're actually delivering a baler to to the new owners of Moss Valley, because we've obviously packed up shop and moved to Saxlingham now. In fact, we might actually be able to visit Saxlingham as well, because Norwich is in Euro Truck with Pro Mods. I think we're coming up towards Duisburg now. I recognise this road. Is this your job, says Dazzy Boy 01? Not yet, Dazzy Boy. Maybe one day. If I stick at it, it would be nice to actually make enough of a success of this that I could do it for a living. But at the minute, it's just, you know, it's just a bit of fun. It's just something that I do in my free time. My guitar tutor was from Duisburg. Interesting, P. I think it's with a U, like B-U-R-G, I think. Yeah, B-U-R-G. Did you say Norwich is in Pro Mods? It is, Dazzy Boy, yes. In the latest version, we can now visit Norwich, which is incredible. Love that. Love, big up Norwich. I've never been to Norwich. I've been to Yarmouth, which I think is probably about where this roundabout is here. But I've never been to Norwich itself. And I'd say Saxlingham is probably somewhere around here-ish, so again, we might actually be able to visit it. For now, though, we'll go... hang on. Why are we going right into the centre of London? No. But the M25 is there for a reason. The M25 is there so we don't have to go into the centre of London. Let's just put that right straight away. I drove home from Heathrow last night and a car was coming the wrong way up the dual carriageway, says P. Oh dear. Hopefully hopefully no one was hurt. Felixstowe is a big place for ports, so ETS2 should have jobs for it. Yeah, there's quite a lot going on in Felixstowe. How's you? I'm good, STFC. How are you doing? Okay, slow down a bit. There we go. Heading straight towards me, and I was like, what the fuck, says P. That is crazy, that's scary. Okay, I'm going to try and get over to the right-hand lane once this 4x4 comes past. Never mind, the right lane is about to turn off. I'll stay where I am. Okay, so now we're passing Duisburg. And again, if this was Pro Mods, this road would be absolutely jam-packed with traffic. You've seen me play you've seen me play Truckers MP before, sorry. You know how busy Duisburg is on that server. Love the setup. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you very much. It's taken me a few years to build my setup up to this level. Just getting bits, you know, getting it bit by bit. The wheel was the very first thing that I got, and then last year I got my gear shifter and my handbrake, and then a couple of months ago we got the Farming Sim ignition key there, which is really cool. It's a shame though, I feel like you can't really see that as well on my desk when I'm driving, but yeah, we do have the ignition lock from the collector's edition of Farming Sim 25. which is really cool. And the beacon light, if it ever works, which it usually doesn't. Can't find the button for it anyway. You should get another camera and set it up behind you so we have 2 POVs. It's funny you should say that, Aaron, because I actually want to do that. I was going to try and do it with... I do have a second webcam, and I was going to try and set it up to work like that. I was going to have a camera like here so that you could actually see me driving as well. Unfortunately, the other camera that I've got, it won't work if there's any other cameras activated. It might be a GPU issue, it might not support multiple cameras, or it could just be that specific camera. So what I might do is get another Logitech C920, which is the same as my main web camera, because I'm thinking if I've got 2 cameras that are the same model, it might not have that problem. But yeah, I'd love to have a camera here pointed at the wheel so you can see the actual driving a bit better. How much was your shifter, says Chance Pup? The gear shifter was £80. No, it was either £79.99 or £69.99, but I can't remember. It was either £70 or £80. But it's the Thrustmaster TH8S, which I bought direct from Thrustmaster's website. It's really, really good. I'd heard good things about Thrustmaster because I've got a friend who has a lot of flight sim gear from them. And he spoke very highly of them, so I thought I'd check them out and see if I could find something for my setup. Saw the gear shifter, I thought that's a really reasonable price. I'll get it, and it's really good. It's got 8 speeds, 7 forward and 1 reverse, but I've got it mapped sequentially to Euro Truck, so we've got... I've got it mapped sequentially to Euro Truck, so we got we got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and then if you go to 7th gear, that actually switches from low range to high range, so then I can shift up to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So like right now, for example, I'm in high range, so we've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, but then if I switch to 7, now we're in low range, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is pretty cool. It's a nice way to map it. I think it's very, it works. It feels very natural. We're entering Belgium. Lovely. Would you do it for a real job? Says Rich. I wouldn't like to do this for a real job. Like I was saying earlier, I just can't see myself doing this. IRL. Again, big respect to people who do this in real life. But doing something in a video game and doing it in real life is a very, 2 very different things, right? There's so much more work involved, there's so much more training involved, there's so much more risk involved in driving a heavy vehicle like this in real life. Did a truck just disappear there? Did I just see a truck in my rearview mirror just completely disappear? Okay, I think I did. Anyway, yeah, I like I say, I think there's just such a... It did, P, thank you. Okay. I knew I didn't imagine that. That truck just fucking vanished. But yeah, like I was saying, I just think there's such a big difference between doing something in a game and doing it in real life, and I can't imagine doing something like this in real life. Big respect to people who do actually do this as a real career. Oh shit, my TV's going to sleep. Please don't do that. Okay, I'm getting in here. Don't you try and merge. Thank you. I'm a lorry driver. I do walking floors. Nice one, Rich. Do you like go all over Europe, or do you stick to the UK? I'm gonna shift over to the left lane. to try and get in front of this guy. Just day work for now, north of England. Fair enough, Rich. Oh, what? Okay, the lane markings are confusing me. I don't know what's happening. Okay, we're in a lane. My days of sleeping in a truck are retired. Honestly, good on you, Rich. If you've put in the work, now you get to take it a bit easier. I don't blame you. Thanks for following, Plane Spotter. That's a nice car. I've never seen that car before in Euro Truck. Oh shit! I need to be over there. What the hell? Okay, that was a really confusing intersection. I don't know what was going on there. I've just come out of one slip road and now I have to suddenly cut across 2 lanes to get out again. I didn't like that. Speeding offence. Oh shit, we are doing nearly 70 right now. Slow it down. Get that cruise control on. Okay, I just heard a yawn. We need to sleep. No, we need to change lanes again. Oh my god. Okay, let me just have a quick peek at the map. We're still an hour and a half away from the next rest point. But we need to sleep in 46 minutes. Okay, we might actually need to disobey the speed limit a little bit then. Right now we're doing 60, which is technically within the limit. You don't get a fine unless you're going more than 5% over. Or, no, 10% over. I'm gonna go. Whoa! Okay. I shouldn't I shouldn't have done that. Remarkably, I didn't actually hit that guy there. But it was very close. Brake checked. In fairness, the speed limit did just drop from 56 to 43, and I wasn't paying attention to the speed limit signs, so that one was my fault, in all honesty. Okay, now it's going back up again to 56. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck, we clipped the barrier. Oh, that's bad. Whoops. Okay, we didn't do any damage to the baler. The baler's fine. We damaged the truck and we damaged the trailer a little bit, but the cargo's fine. This is what always happens in these streams. Once I've had one accident, it just all starts to go wrong. We're probably just going to end up with 100% damage by the time we get to Sheffield now. That's, you know, opened the floodgates to 50 more accidents. How long have you been on your transition journey, says Rich? Almost 4 years, Rich. Well, it's been over 4 years since I came out to my friends and family. But it's been just under 4 years since I came out publicly. I haven't medically transitioned or anything like that, but I have socially transitioned. Like, you know, I'm out publicly to everyone now, and I've started the process of legally changing, you know, my name and gender on documents and stuff like that. I've got a new got a new provisional license with my preferred name and gender on it, and I'm trying to get my new passport sorted at the minute. But yeah, it's been about 4 years and a couple of months. Thank you for asking. Is your name Saul or is your female name not out yet? Saul is my preferred name, Rich. That was actually the name that I was given when I was born. My dad is a big Guns N' Roses fan, so I was actually named after Saul Hudson, aka Slash, the lead guitarist of Guns N' Roses. I always thought it was a really cool name. I always really liked the name Saul. So when I came out, I did consider changing my name when I came out, but I really just didn't feel comfortable with having a different name. I always felt that the name Saul really suited me. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to keep it. I don't really... It doesn't really bother me that it's a more masculine name, stereotypically. It's always a name that I've just really strongly felt a connection to. So, yeah, I kept my name when I came out. Thanks for following, Tom P. Do you want to medically transition, says Elizabeth. I do, Elizabeth, yes. I want to take hormones. Hormones is definitely... something that I want to pursue. I'm not bothered about surgery. I've never... Okay, that was his fault. That one was his fault. I've never really been bothered about surgery or anything like that, but hormone replacement therapy is definitely something that I want to do. But yeah, it's not something that I'm in any rush to do, because look, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I've never experienced gender dysphoria, but I would say that I don't experience it too much, like to the level that a lot of trans people do. It's not one of those things where I would consider it like a life-saving thing that I absolutely need, you know. And for a lot of trans people it is. For a lot of people it really is like a life or death thing. Like you physically can't live without medical transition, which is absolutely fine and valid. But for me personally, it's never been that important to me. It's definitely something that I want to do, but it's never something that I've felt a sense of urgency about. I'd like to, you know, eventually consider it, but I'm not in any great rush. So is your name Saul Ashbridge? It is, AJ. AJV. How are you, Paul? I'm good. I'm good, Paul. How are you, Saul? Says Paul. I'm good. Fair enough. Fair play to you being open about it. Thank you, Elizabeth. Take the U out and have Sal as a nickname, says Rich. Honestly, like I say, I like Saul. I've always thought that Saul really suited me. A few people have suggested that I changed it to like Sally or something like that, because that's similar to Saul. But like I say, I don't see why I can't just keep my actual name. I just like the name Saul. It's a nice name. Your parents must be proud, says Wingo Bingo. They are Wingo Bingo. My parents have been incredibly supportive of me. I've been very, very lucky with my family. They've all been really, really accepting. My dad in particular has always been very vocally supportive. Like he's always been the type of person who will actually stand up and say something if I ever get any trouble when we're like out in public or anything like that. He's always been very, very firmly in my corner, you know. And my other parents as well. Like I say, I've been very lucky, very, very lucky. Keep your eyes on the road, says Paul. Yeah, sorry, Paul. Parents are always your biggest supporters, says Elizabeth. They should be, exactly. That's how it should be. If you have a child, you need to accept that your child might be gay, they might be trans. You can't control that. At the end of the day, your child is their own person. And you need to be there to support them in whatever they do and whoever they are, right? Which is why I can't understand the mindset of parents who like disown their kids when they come out as gay or transgender. Like you have that child is Your child is their own person. You can't control them. You can't tell them who they are and how to live their life. If you have a child, you have to accept the fact that they might end up being gay or trans. And if you're not going to be okay with that, then don't have kids in the first place. If you just want kids so that you can control every aspect of their life and you can decide on who they're going to be and how they're going to live, then you don't deserve to have them, frankly. I guess it depends on parents' views about gay or trans people. I get being apprehensive. I get that, you know, I get that your kid coming to you after 18 years and being like, I, you know, want to transition to a woman. I get that that can be a shock, right? I get that as a parent, you might think, how didn't I see this coming, you know? And I get that it's a bit daunting, and I get that it's a lot to take in. But again, they're still your kids, you know? That's still a person that you loved and raised for 20 years nearly. I just don't... Why would you abandon them in their time of need, you know? Like when they're at their most vulnerable? Like I say, I think so many people have kids just because they want their kids to be exact copies of themselves, you know? I think some people... Oh wait, that's... Yeah, we are going the right way. Like I say, I think some people just have kids because they want that kid to be an extension of themselves, and they want their kids to be exactly like they are, but you can't control that. You have no control over how your kid's going to turn out, right? Why does your wheel keep glitching, says Mad? That's because the actual physical wheel is quite worn out, Mad. If you see the in-game wheel twitching a lot, that's just because the actual physical wheel has had quite a lot of use. It's been battered, bruised and battered quite a lot, so some of the components inside aren't quite in tip-top condition. Okay, down to safe. Can I ask a question? Don't want to offend. Go ahead, Rich. Go ahead. I'm not generally uncomfortable with being asked questions. Some of the questions that I get, you know, I'm used to it. Okay, we're just entering the port at Calais, by the way. There we go. And it's looking good, still 0 damage to the cargo, so even though the trailer and the truck have got a little bit of damage, we haven't lost any money on the cargo just yet. How long does one mission in this game take? This drive so far... Why won't... Okay. This drive so far, we've been driving for about 45 minutes, and I would say... we're about halfway, so another 45 minutes or so. The whole trip was about 600-700 miles ish, and it's like I say, it'll have taken us about an hour and a half by the time we get to Sheffield. Where's that accent from? Says Demon. I'm from Doncaster. I was born in Harrogate in North Yorkshire. Lived in Doncaster most of my life since I was about 6 months old. I did briefly live down in Bath while I was at university, and I'd love to live in Bath again. It was... truck just disappeared there. It was such an amazing place to live. I really do love Bath, but it's a very expensive place to live as well. But yeah, I'm still in Doncaster at the minute. It's where I was raised. You know, it's home. It's not where I want to be for the rest of my life, but it's okay. Okay, border check. I'm from Hull. Nice one, Rich. Where would you like to live, says Paul? Like I say, if I could live anywhere in the UK, I would like to live in Bath. I lived there for 3 years while I was at Bath Spa University, and it's just an absolutely beautiful city. It's such an incredible place. Again, it's one of the more expensive places to live in the country, you know. So it's definitely not somewhere that I could afford to live anytime soon. But when I have the means to do so, I would very much like to get myself back down to that sort of area. What's your orientation now then? Would you date male or female or either? Says Rich. I'm easy, Rich. I won't deny that I've definitely got a preference for women. But I won't say that I'm unattracted. You know, I won't say that I'm not attracted to men as well. I think for me personally, if you like someone, you know, if you connect to someone and you have this, you know, if you really just click, then why does it matter whether they're a man or a woman? You know, you know, you can't help who you're attracted to. If you're attracted to men, that's fine. If you're attracted to women, that's fine. But for me personally, I've just always felt if you like someone, if you really have a connection and a bond with someone, then does it matter if they're a man or a woman? You know, does it really matter how they identify? I wasn't supposed to rest here. Okay, I've just wasted 7 hours because I thought this was where I thought this was like parking for like loading onto the ferry. I just wasted 7 hours by sleeping where I wasn't supposed to sleep. Shit, get on the ferry quickly. If that's cost us time, if we end up being late because I've just gone to sleep there, I'm not going to be very happy. Quick, get me to Britain. Come on. An hour and 31. Do you use pedals for the game? I do, Nelly and Neville, yes. I've got brake and accelerate. No clutch pedal, unfortunately. I would like to get a clutch pedal, but at the minute, I don't have a clutch. Fortunately, with Euro Truck, you can set it to auto clutch, so I can shift gears without needing a clutch pedal. You just like move the gear lever, which is pretty handy. And of course, in true English fashion, it's pissing it down. Welcome back to the UK. Here we are. Welcome to Kent. Sunny old Kent. We might have to put them on at full blast, actually. Oh shit, we're rolling, we're rolling! Come on. I'm not sitting here in traffic all day, that's not happening. If I don't have an opening soon, I'm gonna make one. Okay, now's my chance. Go, 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 go! I'm on a hill! Move, move, move! Okay, we're in. Now let's look at the map and see how far we got to go. We got 7 hours of driving time left to get to Sheffield. And we've got 9 hours left on the job. Okay, we've still got enough time. We can make it without having to take another rest stop. We're good. Whoa! That was my fault. I was distracted by the chat. I was too busy reading comments. I need to lock in. We got... Right, whilst there's all this traffic around, I need to concentrate a little bit more on the actual game. Will you do this for 7 hours, says Bethan? It won't actually take 7 hours. It's probably going to take us about half an hour, 40 minutes. Time in the game is compressed quite a bit. Oh my god, this is... this might take a while. It might actually take 7 hours. Who knows with this traffic. This is why we're not going into London. Just to remind you, by the way, it actually... The navigation... The sat-nav actually wants to take me straight through the centre of London. Which we're not doing. We're going to go around the M25. Because we're not going to be putting up with hours of this. 7 hours to leave Kent, says P. Oh. Okay, we're moving. The problem is there's so much traffic coming the other way, which means that the cars in front of me can't get over. And now the lights are red again. Okay, those were not red for long enough. That was not acceptable. Why is your game so busy? Because in my game there isn't much traffic. Is this a mod? Yes, Truckspotter. I am using the real traffic density mod, which you can download on the Steam Workshop. So there is more traffic. I chose for there to be this much traffic. This is my own... This is a prison of my own making. But yeah, I'm using the real traffic density mod. It's a good mod. It is more realistic. Which is both a blessing and a curse, you know? Doomed yourself with the traffic. Exactly, it's my own fault. I've no one but myself to blame. What wheel is that, says the Ricochet? This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. It's designed mainly for farming sim, but it's good for other heavy-duty driving games like Euro Truck, Bus Simulator. I played OMSI with it a couple of times, Snow Runner, Mud Runner. And it's a very cheap wheel. It's basically the cheapest that you can get. Which is why I do want to get a more expensive one soon, but it's a very good starting wheel. Like I've said before, oh, I've got my window open. I was wondering why the traffic was so loud. I've actually got my driver's side window open. That's why. Let's just there we go. That's better. Let's shut that up. Yeah, I was wondering why the rain and traffic noises were so loud. I'm sat here with my driver's side window wide open. But as I was saying, the Logitech wheel, it's a very cheap wheel, but if you've never owned a sim wheel before and you want to like get your first one, it's a good place to start. It is a good starting wheel. CEX have steering wheels, but don't know if there's one near you. There is, yes. There's a CEX in Doncaster. I was there last week, actually. I bought Crash Bandicoot for the PS1, which, massive childhood nostalgia, obviously. I'm still working on my PS1 collection, trying to collect some of those childhood games that I have so many memories of playing. I think I've got about 10 PS1 games now, but the collection is still growing. How much did your setup cost, says Paul? For the simulation gear, about £400. So the steering wheel and side panel are £230. Gear shifters £70. Handbrake was £30. The ignition lock was £60 with the collector's edition of FS25. And the beacon light I got for a £5 on Facebook Marketplace. That's originally from the collector's edition of FS22. So for all the simulation gear, about £400. My PC was £1,000, and then the rest of my setup another 600 or so. So for absolutely everything, that's including monitors, keyboard and mouse, microphone, headphones. You know, for absolutely everything combined, about £2,000. But just the sim gear, about 400. I want the beacon. My rig's about 7.5k, but about to upgrade it again. The beacon is such a great investment, the Ricochet, because it's so cheap. Like I say, I got this on Facebook Marketplace for £5, but it's such a game changer, especially for farming sim. I love using it in farming sim. It's a bit temperamental with Euro trucks. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it is designed for farming sim, and obviously it's a lot more reliable for farming simulator. But yeah, it's just such a great piece of kit. It really does add to that immersion, you know. Even in the overtaking lane for miles. I know, I'm sorry, Taro Fox, I'm sorry. Do you drive in real life? I don't, Meg, no. Why don't you drive them in real life, says Uneasy300. Probably because I've just been in the overtaking lane for the last few miles. I don't drive in real life because A, I would be terrible at it, and B, I just don't really want to. I just know that I'd spend like £3 on a car and I'd be dead in a week. If I was behind the wheel of an actual vehicle, I would be dead in a week. I know for a fact that that would happen. Thanks for following, Lee Turner. I got triple screen rig, but about to go to 4 screens. Nice one, Ricochet. I've actually got 4 screens, but they're all different sizes. I've got my main monitor, which is the one in front of me. This is what I use for most games. I use this monitor. I use it for driving games. I use it for any games that use a controller. But then I've got my second monitor on my right-hand side here, and as you can see, I've got my keyboard and mouse in front of my second monitor, so I use that one for any games that are keyboard and mouse only, and I also use that for doing like video editing and you know, stuff like that. Then I've got a third monitor, which is just there, which I use for the chat when I'm streaming, so that's where I'm reading the chat from right now. And then I've got a fourth monitor, which is this tiny little one here, which I actually use. Normally I have like Task Manager on that one, or I'll have a preview of my webcam or something like that. It's not really a very useful monitor for anything serious, but it's nice to have it, you know, to have just a little thing there to keep an eye on Task Manager or whatever. Okay, I think we're going on to the M25 now. We are. Lovely. Should download Tickfinity and Sim Dashboard. I've heard good things about Sim Dashboard, yeah. Okay, the visibility is getting quite low now again. For those of you who aren't aware, I'm also playing with a mod called Realistic... I think it's called Realistic Brutal Rain and Thunder, which basically adds more realistic weather. And I've also got the Brutal Realistic Graphics mod as well. So those mods combined mean that sometimes when it's raining, the visibility gets very low. So we're going to drive quite cautiously for the next bit. Why does the wheel keep shaking, says Finn? It's because it's an old wheel, Finn. I am looking to get a new wheel next year, because I've had this for over 3 years now, and it's been bruised and battered in that time, quite badly. So the issues in the game are actually because the components in the physical wheel have just been worn out over the years. I mean, one thing you've got to remember as well is that I have this wheel permanently set up, and I also have my keyboard and mouse here. So whenever I mean, you literally just saw it happen right there. Whenever I swing my chair round, it just hits straight into the steering wheel. And when that happens like 50 times a day for 3 years, the wheel takes some damage, you know? The wheel gets plenty of wear and tear. I can't tell you how many times I've bumped into it with my chair or with my elbow, or sometimes I've even headbutted it when I've been like plugging stuff in under the desk and I've stood up and just bashed my head against it. This thing has been beaten up over the years. Are you okay, K1? I am very good, K1. How are you doing? Thanks for the gifts, by the way, everyone. I haven't actually read out any gifts today, so let me just quickly do that now, because we've had quite a few. Thank you, Simo for the Heart Me, Alan Pickering for the Heart Me and the Autumn Heart, and Taro Fox for the Heart Me and Rose. Thank you very much, everyone, for those gifts. Very much appreciated. Now back to the game and the concentration. I've really got to lock in and concentrate now, because otherwise this is very dangerous. You know, we're in a dangerous place. I don't just mean London. I mean the weather is what's making it dangerous. The cat, says Taro Fox. Yes, we got the cat. We got Ginger there, our tuxedo cat. This is from a mod called Farzel's Cab Cat. That's F-A-R-S-E-L, Farzel. It's on the Steam Workshop. So if you play in Euro Truck through Steam, recommend the mod. You can get different coloured cats. You can get a Ginger. You can get a Tabby. But I've got a black and white tuxedo cat. Because one of my favourite childhood cats, Gizmo, was a tuxedo cat. And I called it Ginger because I thought it'd be funny if I got a tuxedo cat and then called it a name that's just totally unsuited to a tuxedo cat. So that's why it's called Ginger. Can we pick up some lot lizards, says Master Gandalf? I'm not sure what you mean, Master Gandalf. Hello, Callum. Hope you're well. I'm very well. How are you doing? What's this game? This is Euro Truck Simulator 2. I think it's on the screen. Let me just double check. It is on screen on the TikTok stream, just making sure. Don't Google that? Okay, I won't then. I won't, Taro Fox. Whoa! Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god. Oh my god. I nearly had a heart attack. That literally just emerged from the fog. Wow. That shows you how poor the visibility is right now. I just did not see that at all until I was just a couple of meters away. This is why you have to be careful when you're driving in fog. That, I swear down, that really just appeared. Do you have your lights on? I do. But they don't really do much. Yeah, I should probably have a look into more realistic lighting mod. I think some brighter headlights would definitely help. But I have got my high beams on. These are the high beams. They just aren't really doing much. In fact, I might... let me have a quick look in the graphics settings. We might be able to actually do something about this. Show advanced settings. Light... Oh no, that adjusts the distance from which artificial light sources can be seen. So that doesn't actually do anything about the vehicle lights. Okay, so there's probably a mod. I'll look into it. There's probably a mod for that. For now, we've just got to grin and bear it and try not to crash. Hey, cute. Thank you, Tyler E. Scallops. How are you doing? Once Halloween's over, the Christmas shit will be up all of a sudden, says Draydog. True, Draydog. I won't lie, I'm a sucker for Christmas, though. I love Christmas. I obviously disagree with the commercialization. I disagree with Christmas stuff being on shelves, you know, months before. As Tarot Fox says, there's Christmas stuff already in the shops now. But I won't pretend that I don't love Christmas. I'm a very Christmassy person. Again, I've got quite a big family, so Christmas is always a real big family celebration for me. And because I've got like my mum, dad, and stepmom, essentially when I was a kid we used to get 3 Christmases, which was always very fun. Driving home from Christmas, says Temusin Khan. Exactly. We'll have to do a special Christmas stream for Euro Truck as well this year. I do want to do a Christmas stream this year. We did one last year. We did a special 5-hour stream where we played a few different games. I definitely want to do something like that again this year. It'll be obviously just after Christmas. It'll be like in the week between Christmas and New Year. But definitely we'll do something like that again this year. I'm getting driving wheel and pedals for my Christmas, and I need game suggestions, says Lewis Fishing Lover. I recommend Euro Truck, Farming Sim, Mud Runner and Snow Runner, OMSI if you're into buses. All great games which are great for heavy-duty wheels. If you're getting a racing wheel, then obviously racing games would be more suitable. But my wheel is more for heavy-duty driving games. The bus game's OMSI, O-M-S-I. I don't know what it stands for. It's a German game, so it's something in German. But it's called OMSI 2. It's not a bad game. Not a bad game if you like buses. Do you live with your parents, says Jake? I live with my brother, Jake. What's the game again? It's called OMSI. O-M-S-I. OMSI. You look like a cool dude. Thanks, Jake. I've not been described as cool very often, but I'll take it. OMSI 2. Thank you, Tarot Fox, for putting the game name in the chat. Okay, bye, Lewis Fishing Lover. See you later. Got to go? Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Temisin Khan says, hello, Rose. Hello, Temisin Khan. Rose isn't actually my name. Just so that you know, Rose is one of my middle names, but my first name is Saul, S-A-U-L. It stopped raining. I can turn these off now. And we can also floor it a bit now that we can actually see where we're going. Rose 12, says Tarot Fox. Well... It's hard to tell sometimes when people... I mean, I think, you know, he did ask a few times too many. I think he was just trying to wind me up. But sometimes people genuinely mishear you and they're like, sorry, could you repeat that? But then when they ask you to repeat it like 4 or 5 times, you just kind of like, okay, well, you're just trying to wind me up, right? Just wipe the rain off the window there. Okay, both hands on the wheel, Saul. Come on. I nearly crashed again there. Gonna get over to the inside lane. Cruise control on. And it's a bit risky, but I'm going to try and wipe my other window as well. Okay, there we go. I'm back up again. Lovely. Okay, we're 2 hours away from Sheffield. We're just east of Birmingham. Where is that? It's not quite Nottingham. I think Nottingham's a bit further north. It's Leicester, maybe sort of Leicester-ish area. I don't know. What's east of Birmingham? Anybody? Oh, whoa. Okay, that one was my fault again. I was trying to change lanes, but there was already a car in that lane. Still no cargo damage, so it's all good. Why are you in the third lane in a truck? Because I don't know how to drive. Again, people... This is why people join my live streams and they're like, why are you driving in the fast lane? Why are you driving in the overtaking lane? Because I don't know how to drive. I do not know how to drive. That's why I just do it in video games. No cargo damage, but that poor car is in a fiery heap, says Pete. It's okay, it's okay. I did the age-old trick of driving away before you can exchange insurance details. We'll never see him again. Me for real, but real driving, says Tarot Fox. Honestly. Just watch your spider video, love it. Thank you, Tom Shubsmith. I'm very, very happy with that spider video. I'm as someone who's been keeping jumping spiders for a few years now, I'm always keen to try to get more people interested in jumping spiders. But yeah, it's something that I'm very passionate about, is trying to promote an interest in and an appreciation of spiders, because I think spiders are very, very misunderstood. You know, arachnophobia is such a huge thing, and I've always felt that spiders were very misunderstood, and I've always wanted to try and promote a greater understanding of spiders and help people to appreciate spiders more, and maybe even encourage people to get into keeping spiders, because for me personally, the biggest cure to my arachnophobia was keeping a pet spider. I used to be absolutely terrified of spiders, and since keeping jumping spiders as pets, it's really transformed my view of spiders and helped me to understand them more and appreciate them more. How much is a jumping spider, out of curiosity? It depends what species, Tom. You're looking at like 20-25 quid typically. For some rarer species it can go a bit higher, and for some of the more common species you might be able to get them a bit cheaper as well. My current spider, Amber, who is a Phidippus nikites, she was £25. I think the most expensive that I've owned was Hylas diardi, which I paid £30 for. Hylas diardi are the largest species of jumping spider in the world, and because they're, you know, the largest, it means they're a bit more in demand, so they end up being a bit more expensive. But yeah, the most expensive spider I've owned was £30. The cheapest, I think, was £20 for a Phidippus regius. They're very, very common, so they're a lot cheaper. But yeah, for most species, you're looking at somewhere in the range of 25-30 quid. What's the life expectancy? Thanks for following, by the way, Max. How you doing? The life expectancy is normally between 1 and 2 years. Males typically have shorter lifespans than females, because for males, you know, in the wild, males tend to mate and then die because they get eaten by their partners. So males typically are on the shorter end, sort of like a year or so. Females can live up to 2 years, and sometimes for up to a lot longer. Males live to around 5, females around 30. Not for jumping spiders, Max. For bigger spiders, particularly tarantulas, obviously they're a lot more long-lived. As you say, tarantulas can live for 30, 40, even 50 years potentially. The oldest spider that ever lived, I believe, lived to like 57, which is incredible. So yeah, tarantulas can live for quite a long time. Is it 57? I'm going to double check this because I actually want to. I don't want to misinform you. But there was a spider in. It was like it was a wild spider that was captured by like this research facility in Australia, and it lived in captivity. But I'm sure it lived for like 40, 50 years. I'm just going to Google it. Oldest spider. It was 43 years. Okay, so it was called number 16. It was like one of like several specimens that they collected at an Australian research facility. It was a trapdoor spider, an Australian trapdoor spider. Died in 2016 from a parasitic wasp sting, aged 43. So it didn't even die of old age. It died from a wasp sting. It could have easily lived to like 50. Who knows how much longer it could have lived. But that's crazy to me that such a small creature could live for so long, you know. Jumping spiders, like I say, they don't live as long. They live for like a year or two, but tarantulas and larger spiders, they can live for a long time. You'd be surprised by how long they can live. Anyway, back to the game. Back to Euro Truck. Thank you for the spider questions, though. Thank you. Oh, we're here. We're in Sheffield. I didn't realise how close we were. I get too attached to only have a pet for a year, says Max. It is hard. Look, I'll be honest. When Luna died, my previous jumping spider, Luna, I cried. I shed a tear. I had her for 11 months, which is actually the longest that I've kept a spider for. So she was almost, you know, and she wasn't newborn. She was like already fully grown when I got her, so she would probably have been about like 18 months when she died. But it's always sad when a pet dies, you know, whether they live for a year or 10 years. It's always I've just turned the engine off for some reason. It always still hits hard, you know. Oh shit! What am I doing? I need to focus up. Okay. I'm starting to lose the plot just a little bit. But we're here. We're here. Are you on Twitch? I am, yes, I am on Twitch. You can join me over on Twitch right now. My name on Twitch is Ashindak. You can also join me on YouTube, where my name is Ashbridge Industries. There's links in my bio for both of those if you want to join me in any of those places. Women drivers, says Big Popper, honestly. Can't trust them. Love the truck colours. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Yeah, my truck is in the colours of the Trans Pride flag, for obvious reasons. But it's a really nice paint job. I really love it. Crash vehicle at where? Okay, yeah, there. Why don't you do this IRL, says Jay. I mean, you couldn't have timed that better, Jay. I've literally just had a collision. Krone Baylor, says Riley. Yes, we've got the new Krone equipment DLC, so we are delivering a Krone Vari feed baler or whatever. And here it is. We've just delivered it. We are now in Sheffield. There we go. Now we've just delivered it. Premium transport vehicle, says Tom. Nice one, Tom. Nice one. There we go. On time. Excellent. No damage. Perfect. Big J Bear says, Sheffield, not far from me. Me neither, Big J Bear. I'm just over in Doncaster, so just a 20-minute drive from Sheffield. Even less, really. 15 minutes on a good day. Does the game get problematic at Dover without correct papers, says Spooky Satan? Honestly, thankfully, the game's not that realistic. The border checkpoint is as simple as just pressing a button and waiting for a few seconds. Genuinely, though, I think that would be an interesting way to make the game a bit more realistic. If you had to, like, actually acquire, like, permits and stuff like that to travel abroad, and, you know, you had to actually get a manifest for the cargo that you're carrying and stuff like that. I think little things like that would add a little bit more realism, which I think would I would appreciate. But anyway, first job of the day done. We are now in Sheffield. Before we do anything else, I'm going to go and get some repairs done, because we did get a little bit of cargo, a little bit of truck damage, and a little bit of trailer damage. We'll head to the repair place next door, and then we'll see what the next job is going to be. Do you have a certain amount of driving hours, says ZM? I'm not sure what you mean, ZM. Go to Anglesey, says the Tower Fox. We will try. We'll see if we can head off in that direction. Are you switching the trailer to pull heavier cargo? I am. Thanks for reminding me, Lewis. We are going to need to switch. I'm going to switch to the Casborer, which is a slightly larger trailer, so it should let us transport some of the bigger tractors and trailers. Do you have to rest? Ah, okay, I see what you mean. Yes, you have to sleep every 11 hours. That's in-game time, not real time. You can disable that if you don't want to have to worry about sleeping. You can turn that off so that you never have to sleep. But I like it. I like the... Oh, thank you for following on Twitch, LGD Beachy. Thank you. Yeah, I like the little bit more realism that it gives you from having to actually rest periodically. So I have it on. I'm just realising, by the way, we can't actually switch trailers right now because we don't have a garage in the UK. We should probably buy one. We should probably get a garage in the UK. We don't actually have one in our own starting country, in our home country. Is there a... Wait. Is there a place that shows you where your nearest garage is? I think if we go to Trailer Manager and we get the Casbora and we press relocate, there we go, that will show us a map with all our garages. We actually, all of our garages are right over on the eastern side of Europe. I think that's probably because we've been playing with quite a lot of mods, so we've had a lot of, you know, all this stuff over here in Russia and the Middle East and West Asia. I think that's why we've ended up buying a lot of garages on the eastern side of Europe. We've got one in Andorra, but I think maybe we should buy a garage in the UK. The question is where. I mean, Birmingham would be the most sensible option because it's right slap bang in the middle. Although Sheffield wouldn't be a bad option either. Maybe Manchester. If we went for like somewhere like Hull or Grimsby, then we've got ferry connections, so we can get over to Europe. I don't know. I'll tell you what we'll do. We haven't actually been to Hull yet. What I'm thinking is, because there's some ferry connections in Hull, what I'm thinking is we'll have a quick drive over to Hull and we'll see about buying the garage there, and then we can switch the trailers over. So if I can find a quick job over to Hull... Okay, looks like there isn't anything going in that direction. We can fast travel there. That's Fancy Rig. I drive a Scania 164-litre XXL Longline V8. Nice one, Big J Bear. I love Scania. Big fan of Scania. As someone who doesn't actually drive in real life, and you know, has never been behind the wheel of an actual truck, from what little I do know about trucks, I would say Scania is probably like my go-to truck brand. Very, very big Scania fan. Are you open to answering respectful transition-related questions? Of course, Max, of course. I'm here to be an open book. That's really why I'm here, to be honest. I've always maintained, you know, one of the biggest reasons for me doing what I do on TikTok and YouTube is because I'm here to answer questions and to try and help people to understand me a little bit more and to understand trans people a little bit more. I've always felt that the best thing we can do to combat transphobia is to help people to understand, you know, because people dislike what they don't understand at the end of the day, right? So helping people to understand is the best way to combat that. So to answer your question, yes, I do answer questions. How have you found transitioning medically and socially in the UK? Good question, Max. Obviously, I haven't started my medical transition, so I can't really speak to that. But I have heard that it's not the best. You know, medical transition in the UK is not the easiest. Wait times on the NHS are incredibly long, and it is quite expensive to go private. For me personally, I haven't started my medical transition, so I can't really speak to that. But yeah, I've heard it's not the best. In terms of social transition, though, it's been a fairly smooth ride for me. I've been lucky enough to start from a very good place because my parents and my family are very supportive, and I've got a very supportive network of friends around me. So I feel like when you start from a good place like that, when you've got a supportive network of people around you, it is a lot easier. I've had trouble, you know. I have experienced, you know, negative attention in public since coming out, but honestly, it's not been that bad. I feel like there's a lot more hate in online spaces than there is in real life. I know. I'm not denying that people don't face transphobia in real life. I'm not denying that transphobes don't actually say and do nasty things in real life. But in my personal experience, it's way more common online than it is IRL. In my day-to-day life, I've experienced very little trouble. Most people, by and large, don't really care. Which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because, like, they don't care enough to say anything negative, but they also don't care enough to stand up and support you when you need it, you know what I mean? I think indifference is better than negativity, but positivity is even better than that, you know what I mean? So while I appreciate that most people are just kind of like, yeah, about trans people, I would appreciate it even more if they were, like, actively supportive. But yeah, it's okay. It's not the best place to live as a trans person, I don't think. There are better countries to live if you're transgender, but there are worse places to live as well. So you know, it is what it is. Can't complain, ultimately. Are you on Truckers MP? We're not, Beans. We're on single player at the moment. I think we have the same desk, says Dead Dammy. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. I got this desk from, like, Amazon a couple of years ago. I think it was... No. Was it from Wayfair? It might have been from Wayfair, the desk. I can't remember. Okay, we're crossing the Humber Bridge. The iconic Humber Bridge. Which was, of course, the longest suspension bridge in the world when it was first opened in 1972. And as a Yorkshire resident, I have to mention that fact whenever we visit the Humber Bridge. Yes, the longest suspension bridge in the world used to be in Yorkshire until it was overtaken by the Okashi Kaikyo Bridge in Japan, which I think connects Shikoku with Honshu. Those are islands in Japan, if you didn't know. But yeah, the Humber Bridge was the longest suspension bridge in the world for a while when it was first built. Bridge facts with Saul, indeed, says P. We've had spider facts today, we've had bridge facts today. I'm a walking encyclopedia. I think someone said earlier, hang on, I need to find the exact comment. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's gone. I can't find it. Oh, yes. Some earlier on, Doggo Bit says, "Did I die and enter autistic heaven?" Yes, you did. You're here. This is that place. Oh, over on Twitch, LGD Beachy says, "Would you say it's wrong to not have an opinion on it purely because I see it as it's your life, do what makes you happy?" I don't think it's wrong to not have an opinion. You know, I appreciate. On the one hand, I do appreciate when people are kind of indifferent towards trans people. I think I would rather people at least have an opinion, at least have enough knowledge about trans people one way or the other. Because to me, like I say, I think acceptance is better than indifference, right? I don't mind that there are people who are just kind of like okay about it and they don't really care. But at the same time, I would rather people be actively accepting, because, you know, that just makes society as a whole more accepting, you know? Any more oh shit moments, says Draydog? We've had a couple today, yes. We had a little bit of an accident when we hit a barrier, just coming off a slip road. Then we got brake checked just outside, like, Bremen or something like that. We did almost rear end a car on the M25 because it was really foggy and it just appeared out of nowhere. We've had some incidents today. Now I know why you don't want to drive. Thank you, Draydog. Thank you. Okay, I'm pulling straight out here. I'm not even going to look. I'm just going for it. Yeah, I get that. I think it's because I haven't been around it personally, so I'm not educated enough on the matter to have an opinion, if that makes sense. Honestly, that's completely valid, Beachy. I wish more people would have that attitude. I wish more people would be like, I don't understand this enough to have an opinion on it. Because so many people... I'm not being funny, but there's so many people who will know nothing about a subject, but they'll have a very strong opinion on it. And that is basically like 90% of homophobia, transphobia, sexism. 90% of it just comes from people not understanding it, but still having a very strong opinion on it. You know what I mean? So I really, really appreciate when people have the emotional maturity to say, I don't have enough knowledge on this subject to have a strong opinion on it, you know? I would rather people be like that, to be honest. I'd rather people reserve judgment until they actually have enough of an understanding to make an educated, you know, to form an educated opinion on it. Because so many people, I've seen it here on TikTok, so many people will leave negative comments, and as soon as you scratch the surface a little bit and you start asking them questions back, it just becomes so clear that they have no idea what they're talking about. And when you have no idea what you're talking about, it's very easy to form an opinion, you know, I don't understand it, therefore it's bad, you know. So again, I think it takes a level of emotional maturity to admit when you don't have enough knowledge on a subject to form an opinion on it. Unfortunately, not everyone has that level of emotional maturity, you know. I don't need to be down to 6th. Hull discovered. Wonderful. We've only gone and discovered Hull. We have. For years, people have speculated what lies north of the Humber. People have looked out from Grimsby and dared to dream of the mystical lands that might exist over the water. And now we found it. The lost city of Hull. It's not all that, I've got to be honest. No, I kid. I've been to Hull a few times. I've been to the Deep. Love the Deep. Or Kingston upon Hull, to give it its proper name, which nobody does. Nobody calls it Kingston upon Hull. Just nobody. It's just Hull. Why Hull? We're going to buy a garage here. We're looking to buy a garage here because it's on the east coast. It's got connections to... it's got ferry connections to Europe, so I thought it'd be a good place to get a garage. It'd be a good place to get a garage so that we can access the UK, but we can also quickly get across to Europe for deliveries to mainland Europe. I think this is a good spot for a garage. I don't know why I've got my indicator on there. That's why I don't like social media, just full of keyboard warriors that don't have a clue what they're on about. Very true, Beachy. Again, not to harp too much on it, but if you look at social media, if you look at any social media post by a trans person, for example, and you read some of the comments, and it's just so clear that the people leaving these comments, they don't have a fucking clue. They do not have the first idea what they're actually talking about. And it's the same with anything. It's the same with gay people, you know, if you're black, if you're Asian, if you're any kind of minority group and you post anything on social media, the comments are just full of people who quite clearly don't have a clue. Language, says Bayern TikTok. English. I'm speaking English right now. I do also speak Japanese, but I'm not going to do that on stream because you wouldn't understand it. I don't have many Japanese viewers, as far as I'm aware. I'll tell you what I do have, though. I've got a garage in Hull. We just bought this garage. This is ours. Hull is now our home. Didn't you play ETS2 last week, or am I wrong? I did, STFC. I played Euro Truck last week. The reason I'm playing it again today is because I'm actually going to be busy next Tuesday. I've got carpet fitters coming to do my hallway. So I'm not going to be able to stream because they're going to be fitting carpets. So I thought I'd do a stream today instead to make up for not being able to do one next week. Okay, we are going to switch over to the Casbora trailer. And swap. Okay, there we go. No beacon lights. Oh, hold on. I don't know if the beacon light will work with this one, because this trailer does have a beacon light on the back. You can see there. But I've actually forgotten which button controls the beacon light. Let me just double check, and we'll see if it works. I feel like an imposter. I'm a big DAF fan, says Beachy. Oh, I like DAF. I like DAF. Like I say, I've always been a big fan of Scania. But I do have trucks from every single brand in the game. I just mostly drive this one because obviously this is my trans truck. But yeah, I've got trucks from other brands in the game as well. Keys and buttons. Beacon is joy button 13, which is actually button 14. Okay. Okay. Nope, beacon light doesn't want to work today. Oh, wait. Ah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, it's not working. You can see the actual beacon light on the trailer is flashing, but the real beacon light isn't responding to it. That's a shame. It's very temperamental with Euro Truck because it's not designed for Euro Truck. It's designed for farming sim mainly. So yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And today it's not working. Went to Anglesey Autofest a few months ago. That was fun. Nice one, Taro Fox. And speaking of Anglesey, let's see if we can actually get a job over to Wales right now. Cargo market. Hull to Hamburg. That's not in Wales. Cardiff is in Wales, but it's way down on the south coast. Wick is way up in Scotland. Zurich, Rostock, they're both in Europe as well. Kirkwall, that's also up in Scotland. Limoges, Finland, Spain, Kazakhstan. We're not driving to Kazakhstan today. We're not driving that far today. I guess we'll go Cardiff, because then at least we're in the right country, and we can probably find a job from Cardiff up towards Holyhead, which is the only town in Anglesey we can actually visit. But yeah, let's do that. Let's go wind turbine tower to Cardiff. God's country, says P. I've never actually been to Cardiff. I've been to Newport. I went to Newport once to go to the passport office. That's literally the only time that I've set foot on the south coast of Wales. I've been to I went on holiday to Newquay, and I actually got a coaster from Newquay in Cardigan Bay that I've just thrown. Hang on. There we go. That's the coaster that I got when we went to Newquay. It was gorgeous, by the way. The weather was absolutely amazing. It was one of the best holidays I've been on. Loved Newquay. But yeah, the Newport. The first time I ever went to Wales as a whole was when I went to Newport. It was while I was living in Bath and I was applying for my passport, and the nearest passport office was in Newport. So that was the first time that I rather unceremoniously went to Wales. The first time I properly went to Wales was, like I say, when I went for a weekend in Newquay, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I'd love to get to Wales more. Obviously, as someone who's a big fan of hiking and walking and exploring, Wales, such a beautiful country. There's so many places that I want to visit, you know. Is Euro Truck a good game? It's a great game, Riley. This is my second most played game on Steam. Love Euro Truck. I'm your Wales plug, I'll hook you up. I will take you up on that, Taro Fox. Next year, honestly, next year, obviously I want to start going to the Peak District again. There's a few more Peak District videos that I want to do. I want to visit Kinder Scout, which is the highest point in the Peak District. I want to visit Frogger Edge. I'd like to do the Monsell Trail and the Woodhead Trail. But as well as that, next year, when it gets to the summertime, I want to do some more of those videos in other parts of the country and in other parts of the UK. I'd love to, you know, go to the Yorkshire Dales, maybe the Moors, maybe the Lake District. Obviously, get over to Wales, Brecon Beacons, Snowdonia. You know, there's so many other places that I want to visit and do videos. Is the game worth getting it? Is the game worth getting, says Tate. Yes, if you're a fan of trucks, you'll enjoy Euro Truck. It's a really good game. It's probably the best. It's the best truck simulator there is, put it that way. Which, you know, stands to reason. That's why it's the best-selling one. Get that license, it'll fit you as a trucker, says Baby Steph WMB. I have no desire to do this in real life. Big respect to the real life truckers out there. It could not be me. No Truckers MP says known as G. I'm always really cautious about putting music on when I'm playing games because I'm always worried about copyright claims and stuff like that. Is the radio because the radio in game is like real radio, right? Like it connects to real radio stations. As far as I understand it, and I don't want to. I just don't want to be getting copyright strikes, basically. Okay, wind turbine. Let's take it. Hello, I watch YouTube videos on Train Sim World Classic. Nice one, Reese. Hope you enjoy the Train Sim streams. Nice to meet you on TikTok. Thanks, Reese. I think TikTok's alright, but not YouTube and Twitch. Actually, to be honest, the only place that I've really had trouble with copyrighted music is TikTok. Back in September of last year, when I hit 5K, I did a montage video of like some stream highlights and stuff like that, and I used Mr. Blue Sky in the background. It's the only video I've ever posted on TikTok that had the audio removed. But the YouTube version was fine. I think the trick is with TikTok, if you use more than a minute of footage, if you use more than a minute of audio, it gets copyrighted. And obviously, most of my videos are longer than a minute. On live, I don't know. I don't know about live. Like I say, I've never really played any music on live, so I don't know. Thanks for following, Reese. Oh, am I not quite in the zone there? I do and it's alright. I might try it then. Is it just Tuesday you're missing? I am not sure what's happening next week because my sister is also coming up on Friday, next Friday. She's coming to stay for the week. She'll be here till Halloween. And obviously she's bringing my nephew with her, so I don't know if I probably won't be streaming while she's here, because I don't like to stream while I've got guests over, you know. I might make an exception on Halloween, because I would like to do a Halloween stream. But, yeah. Next Friday, I won't be able to stream. I will be live next Thursday. And I might throw in an extra Minecraft stream or something, just to make up for the fact that I can't do next Tuesday. I don't know. I can't make any promises. We'll see what happens. What happened to the dashboard cat? He's still there. He's fine. There he is. Avoid sleeping offense. Oh shit. Let's we need to sleep. I should have slept before I took the job, because now I'm gonna sleep and I'm gonna end up being late. Okay. Let's just move on and see what happens. We'll take our chances. Clips are a big one for me on Twitch. Any clips with music in get a copyright strike, says Beachy. Yeah, like I say, the only time I've really had any issues with copyright is on TikTok, with that montage video that I posted. Which is a shame, because it's genuinely one of my favourite videos that I've done. In the end, I uploaded a version where I sang Mr. Blue Sky myself and dubbed it into the background. Which, please go and check that out, because I'm very proud of that video. But yeah, that's the only time I've ever had my audio removed on a video. I have had a few copyright claims on YouTube, but none that have affected the visibility of my videos. Just like warnings. But I don't like making... I don't have enough followers to monetize my videos anyway on YouTube, so it doesn't really make... like, it doesn't really affect anything. Oh, Oh, look at those god rays. Once again, just to mention, if you play Euro Truck on through Steam and you want something to enhance the visuals of the game a little bit, check out the realistic, brutal graphics and weather mod. It's really, really cool. It really adds a lot more detail to the game. I've also got some mods that add in like higher resolution textures for like trees and roads and stuff like that. But yeah, brutal graphics and weather is a really good one to get, and it's on the Steam Workshop. Avoid sleeping offense. Okay, we really are going to have to sleep soon. The nearest place to sleep is Sheffield. Or... that's 4 hours. How's that 4 hours away? Okay, hang on. What if we... nope, that's on the left-hand side only. Where else can I sleep? I'm just going to have to go there. I'm going to have to go to Sheffield to sleep. Okay, let's go. What's the job, says George. Current job is a wind turbine column, I think. Wind turbine tower, yeah. From Hull to Cardiff. We're still in Hull. There's the Humber Bridge again. And we are going to have to race down to Sheffield before we fall asleep at the wheel again. Starting to get dark as well. How long do we have to do this job? 33 hours. Okay, so we can afford to take a rest stop. We hopefully won't end up being late. Is this game online, says Bearman? I'm not online at the minute, Bearman. There are a few options if you want to play online. You can do convoys, which is like local online with friends and stuff. Or you can join the Truckers MP multiplayer server if you want a bigger online experience. The server can hold up to 3,000 players, so there's normally loads of other people online. But yeah, if you just want to play with a few friends, you can play on convoy mode, which is like up to 8 players, and you have to actually join their game. But right now I'm playing single player. Thanks for following Elzino. How are you doing? Yeah, I know I'm getting tired. I'm trying to find a place to rest. Have we had any more news about PS5 version of the game, says Brandon? No, Brandon. As far as I know, no new updates since the announcement itself. I have no idea what's happening with the console version of the game. I imagine they've got a dedicated team for that, because obviously they have like several development teams. They've got a team for the Nordic Horizons DLC, they've got one for the Iceland DLC, they've got one for Project Coaches, and then most likely they have a special team for the console port as well. So I would say, even though they haven't made any announcements about it yet, and even though they are publicly working on a lot of other DLCs at the minute, there will still be a team working on the console port, you know, as we speak. But there's been no official announcements about it. Is it on PC? The game, yes, currently the game is PC only. You can buy it on Steam, or you can buy it I think direct from SCS Software. I don't know what website it is or something like that. Or like there is a way that you can buy it outside of Steam, but I recommend getting the Steam version. I can imagine it'll take a while just on the fact that the controller isn't like a keyboard. The button mapping will be crazy. That is true, Jamie. I mean, you can play with a controller, and I have played Euro Truck with a controller before. But yeah, I imagine the button mapping is going to be one of the biggest problems. I definitely can't see console having all the functionality that the PC version has, or if it does, they'll have to do like button combinations and stuff like that. Which is not a problem in and of itself. It just means there'll be more controls to learn. But yeah, I imagine the button mapping will take some working out for sure. Thanks for following, by the way, Jamie. Yeah, the thing about consoles is there's always some compromise when putting games on console. Because you know there just are certain limitations that consoles have, especially like with a game like this where there's hundreds of different controls and buttons. Obviously, a big problem is going to be mapping those so that as much functionality as possible is retained. But yeah, that's the thing. Whenever you port any game to console, there's inevitably going to have to be some kind of compromise, whether it be in the graphics or the functionality, you know, stuff like that. Some area of it will inevitably have to take a bit of a hit. Is that the best realistic game of Truck Driver on PC? I think it's a fairly realistic game, yeah. It's not realistic in terms of, like, physics, for example. If you want, like, a really realistic physics experience, then I would highly recommend a game like MudRunner or SnowRunner. Oh shit, we're dozing! Okay, we need to get to the rest stop quickly. We almost fell asleep there. We're 57 minutes away. But yeah, if you want an experience that's more realistic with like physics, MudRunner and SnowRunner are great. They've got like realistic damage physics, realistic fuel consumption, and stuff like that. You can actually physically see the damage to your truck as well, which is really cool. You can't see the damage in a game like this. So I think they're both realistic games, but in different ways. Like I say, if you really want to focus on the physics aspects of it and the realistic damage and stuff like that, then SnowRunner or MudRunner is a good place to look. But if you want something that's more realistic experience to just general long-distance lorry driving, then obviously something like this is a really good fit for that. So they're both really good games, and they're both fairly realistic games, but in very different ways, you know? Pretty sure even suspension can break on those. Yep, you can damage the suspension. All the individual parts of the truck can be damaged. The brakes, the suspension, the tyres, obviously, the transmission. Really, really great series of games. I want to play more of that on stream, by the way. It's been so long since we played SnowRunner on stream. I'd love to do a little bit more of that. We're dozing again. Okay, we hit something. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, right. I think we're going to have to admit defeat here, because not only did I just fall asleep at the wheel for the second time, I also accidentally turned onto the slip road. So now it's going to take us even longer to get to that rest point. I think what we should probably do is rewind a little bit. Let's go back to... let's show the autosaves. 2240. Why is my game time in Central Eastern Standard Time and not BST? which it should be in. I don't know. I'm going to rewind a little bit to... I think this autosave was just after we finished the previous delivery. You've already lost your license, pull a U-turn, says the Tower Fox. I don't want to get... I don't want to damage the trailer too much either, though. I want to... Okay, where are we? Okay, we've still got the wind turbine here. I want to rewind to just before we took this delivery and sleep before we accept the job, which is what we should have done in the first place. Okay, we've already taken on the job here as well. One more. We'll go this one. Content change detected. What do you mean content change detected? Where? No. Hang on a minute. Where? What? Okay. Is there a US truck simulator? There is. There's an American truck simulator. It's made by the same people who make this. And it's basically the same game, but in America. Like, it's got the same engine and everything like that. And the gameplay is exactly the same, but obviously it's in the USA instead of Europe. But yeah, it's just called American Truck Simulator. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to abandon the job. It's only 10 grand. We've got 12.5 mil. It's fine. Right, so what I'm going to do, we're going to learn from our mistakes. I'm going to go and sleep, and then we're going to take on a job, which is what we should have done in the first place. We'll sleep first, take a job after. Why is it raining in middle of night again? It wasn't raining when we got to Hull. Without the pay one, is the demo one good like yours? I am not aware of a demo. Does Eurotruck have a demo? I don't know. I haven't played the demo, so I can't really say anything about it. But, you know, if it's free, then give it a try. Is this ProMods? Yes, it is. This is ProMods. The latest version of ProMods has already been released for version 1.56. That is what I'm using right now, and it's very good. Yep, 1.56. Are the roads realistic? Is that what part of the UK actually looks like? I wouldn't say they're too realistic, because it is a lot... The map scale is a lot smaller than real life, so obviously you can't fit in as much accuracy with the roads and stuff like that. They do try to replicate real roads, especially major roads, motorways and A roads. They try to replicate as much as possible. But obviously, I mean, if we just take a look at the map, obviously in real life Hull is a lot bigger than this. There just isn't space to fit it all in the game. Is there anything new, says Alf? I think Norwich is new. I don't remember seeing Norwich in previous versions of ProMods. And there are a couple of new things. I'd have to check the release notes, but I do remember seeing a few other new towns just dotted around the place. But like I say, I think Norwich is new. I don't remember seeing Norwich Oh, Norwich has always been in Pro Mods. Huh. Well, it's news to me. I've never been there. Let's have a look, actually. I'll tell you right now. Pro Mods. Just give me a second. I'm looking at the patch notes. Thanks for following, by the way, Alpha37 Racing and Elpreds UK. Thank you very much. Okay, I can't find the patch notes. Never mind. Let's just get back to the game for now. There is some new stuff. There's definitely some new stuff has been added. I just, off the top of my head, can't remember what. I'm nearly at 6k. Nice one, Taro Fox. Congratulations. I am going to see what jobs we can take. Okay, that job has now expired, the one to Cardiff, which is unfortunate. Thanks for following, Phoebe Hurst. How are you doing? Let's just fast travel to Aberystwyth and find a job from there. Wasn't there an issue with the ProMod servers, so they didn't realise anything? Not that I know of. There's a lot added, plus they've mentioned about a potential new UK expansion. Interesting. Do you think the game in 20 years will look like what we see when we drive? I think, you know, I can't imagine how realistic games will look in another 20 years. I mean, look at how video games looked 20 years ago, and just imagine what they're going to look like in 20 more years. Okay, there's still no jobs around here. There's no jobs to Anglesey, I'm afraid. But there is, we can take this fast track from Aberystwyth to Fort William, which I think is a pretty good job and pretty well paying, so let's do that. You'll pass me on that one? Oh, nice. Especially with VR being a thing. Very true, Jamie. I think, like I say, I can't imagine where video games are going to be in 20 years' time. I mean, just a couple of years ago, we saw the Unreal Engine 5 demo, and we saw the potential with that. We haven't really seen any games yet that fully exploit that potential. But, I mean, if you want to look into the future of games, just watch that Unreal Engine 5 tech demo. That's what all video games are going to look like in a few years' time. It really is. I can't talk right now, I'm playing Brain Sonic, says the Taro Fox. Yeah, brain games, that's next. That's next. Once Elon Musk has installed microchips in everyone's head, which will probably be done kicking and screaming to most people, including myself. I don't want a microchip in my head, but, you know, in 10 years' time, when Elon Musk is supreme leader of the entire world and it's a legal requirement for us all to have brain chips, maybe we'll all be playing Sonic in our heads. Have you played BeamNG Drive? I have, yes. Love BeamNG Drive. I only recently got it because my old PC wasn't powerful enough to run it. But I recently got BeamNG Drive. I like it so far from what I've seen of it. Maybe we could even play it on stream at some point. Not making any promises, but would be cool. Oh wow, this is a tight roundabout. You're in Wales in the game? Yes, we are. We're in Aberystwyth at the moment. Only significant thing is Gibraltar, says Alf. What do you mean, Alf? Nice V8. Thanks, Dylan. Oh, nearly hit that coach there. Whoops. Where is this? Where are we picking up from? Oh, it's a farm. Obviously, it's a tractor. You on Truckers MP? No, we're on single player today, Oliver. Only thing I took note of was Gibraltar, really. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. There is other stuff. They've added in, like, just little towns and villages all over the place. They haven't added in anything major, really, but, you know, the fact that they've gotten out a compatible... The fact that they've focused on compatibility and got a compatible version out for 1.56 so quickly is quite impressive. I think, like I say, the latest release was more about just getting the game to work on the latest version and not really focused on adding new stuff. Oh my god, look at this road. Holy shit. You can tell we're in Wales. 10%... What? Where? No, fuck off. What do you mean? I did not touch anything. Did you see that? I just got 10% damage on the trailer. I quite literally did not touch anything. I was looking in the mirror. Fuck that. That's bullshit. I'm watching that mirror like a hawk right now. That was out of nowhere. 10% damage out of nowhere. Okay. I think we're good. It's opening up a bit now. Literally, I didn't see the trailer touch anything, says JV. Exactly! Exactly. It annoys me when that happens. Sometimes it does. Sometimes the trailer just randomly gets hit by thin air. I mean, as long as the cargo itself doesn't get damaged, I don't really mind. And obviously we haven't actually picked up the cargo yet, so it's okay. Ooh. Oh, wow. Look at that. Wouldn't want to tumble down that. Hello, Mr. Quack. How are you doing today? I have 6 billion on Euro Truck 2. Nice one, Rowan. I've only got 12.5 million. Seems paltry in comparison. Good. How about you? I'm good. I'm good, Mr. Quack. We're currently driving to a farm on the outskirts of Aberystwyth to pick up a JCB fast track. Which we're going to be delivering to Fort William in Scotland. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I've never seen swing gates in Euro Truck before. That's a nice touch. Interesting, perfectly static sheep, by the way. How are you doing, guys? That's just the sheep in Wales have evolved to freeze, you know, to play dead whenever people are near. Oh my god, that is... Okay, this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough one. Can we drive all the way around? I think it's probably easier if we do a U-turn and reverse in. I live in Snowdonia and my sheep are little bastards and keep escaping, says Rowan. These ones don't seem very bothered at all, to be honest. They're just kind of chilling. Okay, the angle is way off there. There we go, that's better. Ooh, we're getting a bit close to the fence. Don't hit the fence. Okay, we're good. There we go. Made it look easy. You need to try VR on ETS2, it's awesome. I would love to get a VR headset. I've been looking into it recently, actually. I've been looking at just getting a cheap second-hand one on eBay, because I don't actually need the controllers, I just need the headset itself, and obviously I can use my my regular driving setup. But definitely, I've been thinking for a while about looking into some VR of some kind. Okay, we got the JCB. Now we're off to Scotland. Before we move, next rest stop in 9 hours. So let's mark that on the map. I'm going to say Carlisle. Yep, Carlisle. Perfect. That's where we're going to rest. Just there on the north side of Carlisle. 8 hours and 1 minute. Perfect. Like the content. Thank you, Jamie. James PAFC. How are you doing? I appreciate that. What pro mods are you on? We're on the latest pro mods. 2.67? No, is it 2.70 now? Whichever the latest one is. I'm on Euro Truck 1.56. So it's whichever one is the latest for 1.56. How do you get pro mods? You head to the pro mods website. Oh, I've made a terrible mistake. I said 6.7, and now people aren't going to shut up about it. I don't get modern memes. I really don't. But to get pro mods, you go directly to pro mods website. You can download it for free, or you can donate a little bit to get a premium download, which downloads a lot faster. But I definitely recommend pro mods. Really great mod. Most other map mods for Euro Truck are based on pro mods. So it's a really good base to start with if you want to get other mods as well. And it's just a really good mod in itself as well. I've got pro mods Middle East, and pro mods The Great Step. To activate it, you go to your mod manager in the main menu of Euro Truck. You will need to copy the actual files into the mod folder on your computer, but it's not too difficult to work out. When you say 8 hours away, is that 8 hours of actual gameplay? It's not, no. It's probably going to be about 45 minutes, I'd say. Do you still need all the DLCs for Pro Mods? You do, yes. You do need all the DLCs for Pro Mods, and you now also need the latest Grease DLC as well. That is now a requirement. So you do need to own all the paid map DLCs for the game to be able to get Pro Mods, unfortunately. Which I already had anyway, because any bit of DLC that comes out for this game is going straight in my cart. Apart from the paint job packs, I'm not really bothered about the paint job packs. But any time a new cargo pack comes out, anytime a new map pack comes out, I'm buying it straight away. I'm a farmer, don't have the money for that, says Rowan. Just wait till they're on sale, Rowan. Wait till they're on sale. A couple of years ago, I got my brother-in-law a few of the DLCs as a Steam gift, because he has the game, but he didn't have any of the DLCs. So when the Steam Christmas sale was on, I went ahead and bought all of the cargo packs, and I paid like £10 for all of them. The game is almost always on sale, and it's always like 40-50% off when it is on sale. So if you don't want to pay full price for the DLCs, just wait around for like 3 days and there'll be a sale on. Genuinely. Gonna pretend I didn't see that. Well, I didn't see that, that's why I hit it. Where are you on the map? It looks mint. We're currently in Aberystwyth. That appeared out of nowhere, to be fair, says the tower. Yeah, I did actually look right. And I didn't... I mean, maybe I didn't look far enough, you know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No harm done to me. He might be dead, but... but I'm unharmed, which is the main thing, you know. Whenever you get into a car accident, the main thing is that you're okay. Who really cares about the other guy? Anyway, is this place a DLC? Yes. So this is just outside Aberystwyth. This is added by Pro Mods. So it's not DLC, it's a mod. Machynlleth. Lovely. Probably pronounced that wrong. I'm not the best at Welsh pronunciations, but my brother-in-law is Welsh, so I'm learning a bit through him. Butchered that, to be fair. Okay, maybe I've not learned as much as I thought then. I've been on this road, actually. I'm just thinking about it. I've been on this road when I actually went on holiday to Newquay. This is the road that we actually drove on to get to Newquay. We came into Wales through we went through Stoke-on-Trent and then across into... I can't remember exactly where we crossed into Wales, but we came through the mountains here. Shit, low gear, low gear. In fact, I actually remember stopping on this road because my granddad got a nail in his tyre. And we were like in the middle of the Welsh hills, nail in the tyre. Fortunately, he had a spare, so we actually had to stop and change tyres in the middle of Wales, which was fun. So yeah, I do remember this specific road. Can't wait for the A55 and the Colwyn Bay sign, says Taro Fox. Not long now. Let me just have a look on the actual main map. Yeah, okay, so here, you see where there's a junction here just coming up? I think the road that we came in on was that road. Like, came across from sort of this area, and then from here we went down on this road that I'm on now through to Aberystwyth. Is your Pro Mods a Europe one? Yes, so I'm using Pro Mods Europe. Like I say, I do also have Pro Mods Middle East and Pro Mods The Great Step. But the main one is obviously Pro Mods Europe. Is that wheel really good with ETS2, says Axel? It is, it is. It works really well with ETS2, honestly. Obviously, the wheel is designed for farming sim, but it works very well with any heavy-duty driving game. Euro Truck, OMSI, Mudrunner, SnowRunner. It's a very good wheel, honestly. It's cheap, but it's good. Found some really good deals on Vinted for pedals and a wheel. Honestly, I'm a big Vinted fan. I do a lot of shopping on Vinted, so it might be a good place to look actually for tech. I think with something like a wheel though, I would prefer to buy it brand new. But if it's in good condition, I guess I'd be open to buying something second hand. I'm running out of fuel. Where's the next fuel station? Okay, it's not too far. There's one at Porthmadog. Doing anything exciting tomorrow, says Draydog? I've got a very exciting video coming out tomorrow, Draydog. Which I don't want to spoil. But if you're a Patreon, you will have already had a chance to see it, because it released a day early on my Patreon. Shout out to my Patreon supporters, by the way. Yeah, I've got a very, very special video coming out tomorrow. One that I've put a lot of time and effort into over the last couple of weeks. I've really been working round the clock on it. It's just over 20 minutes long, so it's another big one. But a very important video, very special video for me personally. You'll see why when it goes live. But yeah, once I've done that, I'm probably just going to chill for the rest of the day, because I have been like on transmit for the last week straight. I mean, every day in the last week, I've either been streaming or recording or editing. So really, tomorrow I just want to post this video and then just have a chill out for a bit. Me and my son watch your videos, says Taro Fox. He liked Amber and was pointing at her. Oh, that's cool, Taro Fox. I love that. Okay, so this is Porthmadog. We are... What are these railway bridges? Oh wait, I was supposed to go to the petrol station. Okay, there's another junction here. Oh, Tesco! Yes, let's go to Big Tesco. Sorry, I got an itch in my ear. Big Tesco! Can I have a meal deal, says Taro Fox. What's your meal deal, Taro Fox? Come on. Let's do this. What's everyone's meal deal? Hit me now. Tell me. You're better driving than me. I'm always crashing on bus sims, says Draydog. Oh, I crash a lot as well, Draydog. You wouldn't believe it. I'm trying to be as safe and sensible as possible today, though. Okay. Thanks for following Uptown LS. How are you doing? What kind of music do wind turbines like? They're big metal fans. Nice one, Curtis. BLT, Fridge Raiders, and a Dr. Pepper. I respect all of those, Taro Fox. Absolutely. Big on the Fridge Raiders. Right, big on all of it, to be honest. For me personally, it's got to be a Ploughman's. I love Ploughman's. My favourite sandwich is a cheddar Ploughman's. If you've seen my Peak District videos, I almost exclusively take them with me when I'm on walks because they've got so much veg. They've got so much veg in them as well. They're like really filling and really healthy. So yeah, a Ploughman's sandwich, absolutely got to be. Fridge Raiders are good, but I like in One Stop they do mini pepperonis with tiny chunks of cheddar cheese, like tiny little cheese cubes. I'm having that. I'm having a bit of that. But Fridge Raiders are a good option as well. And for a drink, it depends. The drink varies a lot, to be honest. With the sandwich and the snack, I normally go for the same thing every time. But with the drink, it kind of depends on my mood. You know, sometimes I'll get an iced coffee, sometimes I'll get a Monster, sometimes I get a Mountain Dew, or a Dr. Pepper, maybe a can of Coke. I'm one of those people who just likes a lot of different drinks, so I'm not really fussy when it comes to drinks. I'll just take whatever I fancy at that particular time. But in terms of the main and the snack, it's almost always a Ploughman's, and it's almost always pepperoni with cheese cubes. Do you like Iron Brew? I love Iron Brew Shadow Edits. Big Iron Brew fan, especially the 1901 recipe. I actually buy the 1901 recipe by the case on Amazon because you can get 24 cans for 24 quid on Amazon. So like once a month I will just buy myself an entire crate of Iron Brew 1901 recipe. Big Iron Brew enjoyer. I get 10 2-litre ones. Fair enough. I respect that. Why are you in the dress, says D? Why not? Why not? Why aren't you is the real question. 10 out of 10 would recommend. They're comfortable. I mean, I'm not being funny. Not to sound too crude, but if you have what I have in the downstairs department, which, as I'm constantly reminded on my streams, you know, we all know what's going on down there. Honestly, a dress makes more sense than a pair of trousers. I don't understand how we ended up with men wear trousers and women wear dresses, because the other way around makes so much more sense. So wear a dress. Genuinely, they're so freeing. Again, I don't want to be crude about it, but they are. They let you breathe a lot more. But get yourself a dress. I can't remember what drink it was, but years ago they added white powder, if you know. I'm not sure what drink you do mean, Dre Dog. A soft drink or something else? What wheel is that? This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. Okay, I'm going to speed up a bit. You are what you are, and I respect you until you try to convince someone to do the same. Alright, calm down. Calm down, no love. All I said was you should try wearing a dress. It's not like I tied him down to a chair and forced estrogen into his gob, is it? I literally just said you should try wearing a dress. It was a fizzy drink, either Coke or Fanta. They added white powder. Don't know. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, Coca-Cola did used to contain cocaine. Like hundreds of years ago, back in like the late 1800s when Coke was first becoming a thing. Yeah, some of the very oldest Coke recipes did include cocaine, which is actually where the name comes from, as far as I'm aware. They don't include cocaine now, which, you know, depending on your perspective, may be a good or a bad thing that you can't buy cocaine off the shelf in soft drink form anymore, but you can't. Getting close to the bay, we are indeed. Once I'm on the def link for pro mods, do I generate the link? You do, yes. I follow back. The reason for the generating the def file is because you can do a little bit of customization for like the colours on the sat-nav and stuff like that. But yeah, once you've generated the def, that'll give you an SCS file. Then you'll go on to the next page, which is where you download the main files for the mods. And like I say, you can download them all for free, which takes about like 20 minutes or so. Or if you pay, I think it's like £1, you can download them. You can get like the premium download, and obviously it does contribute to the upkeep of the mod and the development of the mod, which I think is worth it personally. Looking well, Ash. Thank you, Kalen. Weird seeing a digital version of this, says Tarot Fox. Yeah, you'll have to tell us how accurate it is, Tarot Fox. I have actually been here before in Train Simulator. Those railway tracks just there, I've driven on before, on the North Wales coast route for Train Simulator Classic. So it's interesting to see the same place in a different game, you know. It's very accurate, weirdly. Nice one, Tarot Fox. This is pro mods, so the pro mod stuff generally does tend to be a lot more accurate than the stuff from the main game. So it's good to hear. How much is the steering wheel, says Shadow Edits? £230 for the wheel, side panel, and 2 pedals. It's called the Logitech G Heavy Equipment Bundle. You have to honk twice when you go through the tunnel. Oh, is that a local tradition, is it? Here we go. SCS has confirmed it won't be out on console till next year, says Jamie. I mean, we are only 2.5 months away from next year. But I guess, you know, it'll probably be like late 2026. They do tend to put out their mods, and their official DLC does tend to release about that time, like sort of September, October. So I would say like mid to late 2026. Does it have force feedback? It doesn't, Shadow Edits. Unfortunately, there's no force feedback on this wheel. Thank you for following Callum5, by the way. Why do you have a beacon next to you? Because it's a beacon. It's an actual working beacon light. It's from the Collector's Edition of Farming Simulator 22, which I was lucky enough to pick up on Facebook Marketplace for a £5, and it does work in Farming Sim. Sometimes it works in Euro Truck, but it's a bit temperamental. It's not working right now. But yeah, it does work in Euro Truck on occasion. How many degrees does it turn? It's got 900 degrees of rotation. The caravans are accurate, says Tower Fox. Indeed. Logitech G29 is good for games like this with force feedback, same with Farm Sim. Yeah, I've heard good things about the G29, Jamie. The only thing for me is that it is more of a racing wheel, and I've never wanted a racing wheel. I've always wanted at least a heavy duty wheel, which is why I'm looking at the Thrustmaster T248 for my next wheel, because you can convert that between racing and heavy duty. Like I say, I'd like a wheel that does both, but if it comes down to either or, I'd prefer to stick with heavy duty. But yeah, the Thrustmaster T248, you can get a conversion kit for that, so you can have it in heavy duty mode like this, or you can also like adjust the position of the wheel to a racing position. That's why I'm looking at that for my next wheel. How's the horn sound? There it is. What's your favourite game, says Amelia? My favourite game of all time, Amelia, is Oddworld Abe's Exodus. It's a PS1 game from 1998. It was the very first video game I ever played. Has a very, very special place in my heart for that reason. We've actually been playing through the entire Oddworld series in our Sci-Fi Sunday streams. And this Sunday we are going to be starting Oddworld Soulstorm, which is actually a remake of Abe's Exodus, my favourite game in the series. But yeah, big Oddworld fan. My very earliest gaming memory was playing Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus on the PS1. And I still have Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus on the PS1. Not the same copies, but, you know, and not the same PS1 actually, but I do still have a PS1 with those games on it. The traffic here is quite bad, by the way. Hopefully, yeah, once we get onto the M6, we should be alright. We're just crossing into England now. We're just approaching Liverpool. Can we see the PS1? I can't really show it on stream, Spriggy, because it's in a bit of an awkward position. It's like behind... It's just out of frame under my... under one of my shelves. You can probably see it in the background of some of my videos. In fact, if you watch my PC setup tour video, it's probably in the background of that. Thanks for following Aiden MC, and thanks Fruit and Fibro as well. I've still got my PS1, 1, 2, 3, and 4 just packed away. Nice one, Jamie. Nice one. Yeah, I've owned every PlayStation except the PS5, because that was when I switched over to PC, and I've been, you know, on PC ever since. I don't have any of the original consoles that I had when I was younger. But I do have a PS1 that I bought a few years ago, and I do have a PS Vita. I've still got my PS Vita that I got for my birthday many years ago now. I love the PS Vita, by the way. What an unfortunate end that console met. It never really took off, it never really got big, you know, which is a shame because I think it is the best handhold that PlayStation ever made. I really do think it's much better than the PSP. What the hell? Excuse me? I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. I'm just going to keep driving. There's another one. What the hell? I think we might have wandered into the middle of some trucker's suicide pact. Let's move swiftly on. In any case, we've now crossed into England, so we're all good. Where's the jumping spider, says Tamsin. My jumping spider is, you won't be able to see it in frame because I don't know if you can see that cabinet behind me. The enclosure is on top of that cabinet. So it's just out of frame in my live setup. But obviously, ignore that. If you do want to actually see my jumping spider, then check out the jumping spider videos. My most recent one I posted about a month ago. What wheel is that, says CD? This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. I got it as a bundle with the side panel and 2 pedals. And it's very good. I've had it for about 3 years. My bearded dragon is sitting on my shoulder watching the stream. He's never done this. Oh, that's so cute, Jamie. Say hi to your bearded dragon for me. I love bearded dragons. We had a family friend who had bearded dragons a long time ago, and they're really cute. They're really cool animals. Okay, we're on the motorway. We can open up a bit now. Next rest stop in 59 minutes. We're still 2.5 hours away from Carlisle. That's how long we spent stuck in traffic. We should have been in Carlisle 2 hours ago. I call him Steve because of Life of Tom. Oh, that's lovely, Jamie. Where are you driving? We are driving to Fort William in Scotland. Another place that I've visited in Train Simulator, but not Euro Truck Simulator. I have the Thrustmaster T248. Is that any good? It is, CD. That's actually the wheel that I'm going to be getting next. I've had my eye on it for quite a while. I think the only downside is that it doesn't have thumbsticks, which will make it a bit harder to look around in the cab for Euro Truck and Farming Sim. That's the thing, it's hard to find a good wheel that has thumbsticks, because so many wheels are designed for racing games, and the racing wheels don't have thumbsticks. But yeah, the Thrustmaster T248 is the wheel that I'm going to be getting next. Maybe you can invest in Track IR, says Jamie. We have used OpenTrack to do head tracking in the game before. The problem is it always causes the live stream to become really laggy. But yeah, we have used OpenTrack. We've used head tracking and eye tracking on a few different live streams before. It doesn't work very well with streaming. It just seems to make my streaming software shit the bed, which is unfortunate. Can you drive IRL? I can't, son. No, I don't drive in real life. Oh god. Oh. I didn't realise we were on a hill there. Driving IRL is expensive and a headache. Very true. Very true, Jamie. That's just one of many reasons that I don't do it. Do you want to? No. I've never been interested in driving. As much fun as it is to do it in a video game, I've just never had the need or desire to do it IRL. Okay, I think we're going to have to actually go to this rest stop here, because there's no way we're going to get to Carlisle. Hi, how have you been? I've been good, Tiffany. How are you doing? If I didn't live in London, I'd drive, but insurance is through the roof and I don't trust drivers. That's fair enough, Jamie. You're not convincing me, says Stylus. About what, Stylus? Oh god, we're still in 12th gear. Hang on. Morning, Moo Boy. How you doing? Why does your steering wheel in-game twitch so much, and does it annoy you? Yes, it does annoy me, Luke, and it's because the steering wheel itself is quite old. I've had this for over 3 years, and it has received quite a lot of punishment in that time from being hit by my chair or my elbow or my forehead or various other body parts. It's taken some beating over the years, so it's not in the best of conditions, which is why there's a lot of twitching in game and stuff like that. I'm doing good. That's awesome. You're doing good as well. I am, Tiffany. I'm glad to hear you're all right. Okay, I may have to wind down the window so that I can see the rear view mirror, or the wing mirror. It does mean it's going to be a bit louder. When's ETS 2 getting released on Xbox? It's going to be mid to late 2026. Apparently they literally just announced today that the release window is going to be mid to late 2026. Scania V8s are the best. They really are, Jamie. Love the Scania. Love the Scania V8. This is the Streamline R730. Absolutely fantastic truck. My most driven truck in Euro Truck at the minute. It's really great. R730 is one of the best Scanias, said Jamie. Yeah, it's pretty much one of the most powerful Scanias that you can get, at least in the Streamline range. Top of the range for the Streamline, isn't it? I think it is, yeah. It doesn't have the biggest gearbox. We had to change the gearbox to work better with the gear stick. But apart from that, everything else, you know, all the customizations and everything are pretty much set to top of the range, including the engine, obviously. The thing doesn't know what they're talking about. Agri-Farmer calls. He always does this. He joins every single live stream and comments stuff like this. The thing is, if you actually listened to the words that I was saying, you would hear that I do know what I'm talking about. I'm not claiming to be an expert in trucks or anything like that. But if you actually, you know, before you type a comment like that, if you actually listen to what I'm saying, if you actually listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, then you might realise how stupid your comment sounds. But Agri-Farmer calls. He's joined my last. He's joined like my last 5 or 6 live streams. All he does is just say the opposite of whatever I say. He's the kind of guy who would probably go and jump off a bridge if I told him not to. You know. Shutting that window back up because it's getting a bit loud outside. Why are you lane hogging, says Robin? Because I don't know how to drive. I don't know what that means. I genuinely don't understand the concept of lane hogging. Like, again, I don't drive. I've never had a driving lesson. I've never intended to drive. I don't get driving. I don't get having 3 lanes when you're only allowed to use 2 of them. I don't... I know that the middle lane is for overtaking only. I don't understand why that is the case. I don't understand why there's an entire lane that you're not allowed to use unless you're overtaking someone. That doesn't make sense to me. This is another one of the reasons why I don't drive, because that just fundamentally does not make sense. Don't assume my gender, please and thank you, says Agri-Pharmacals. I'm sorry, Miss Agri-Pharmacals. Sorry about that, man. I didn't realise we were in the presence of a lady. Don't worry, I won't make that mistake again. So earlier on, when I said that Agri-Pharmacals is the type of guy who would go and jump off a bridge if I told him not to, what I actually should have said is Agri-Pharmacals is the kind of woman who would go and jump off a bridge if I told her not to. Thank you for correcting me, Agri-Pharmacals. Wouldn't want to be accused of misgendering deliberately. But clearly you want to be gendered as a woman, otherwise you wouldn't have taken issue with me calling you a man in the first place, right? So therefore, by process of elimination, I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that you're a woman. Then again, you could be non-binary, but given some of the comments that you've left on my previous live streams, I'm going to assume that not only are you not non-binary, but that you also despise non-binary people. Again, just an educated guess based on previous comments that you've left. So if you're not a man and you're not non-binary, then you're a woman. It's you must be. What else could you be? Oh, I don't actually need to go to the services now because we slept earlier, right? We can just go straight through. I was going to end the stream at 5, by the way, but I think we'll finish this delivery. We'll keep on going. Nine hours. Okay. Where's your button board? Says what's your button board? Says I follow back. This is from the Logitech G Heavy Equipment bundle. All of these buttons are mapped to various different controls. Them button boxes are ace for Euro Truck Sim. They really are. It's really, really cool for Euro Truck. What I love about this one as well is that it has a little stick on it, and I've actually got that mapped to my indicators, which is really cool. So I've got a little indicator stick. Can you use that on Farming Sim? Yes, it is designed for Farming Sim mainly. I use the stick for indicator and handbrake. I used to have it for the handbrake as well, but obviously now I've got the actual handbrake. But yeah, it works well for a handbrake as well if you don't have a separate peripheral for it. I'm gonna have to put this window down. And the blue-green buttons are for air suspension. Yeah, I've got pretty much the same. I think I've got blue for the suspension and green for connecting and disconnecting trailers. It's a good setup, I must admit. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. I'm very happy with my setup. Put a lot of time into getting it just how I want it. The steering wheel, Richard, is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. How long did it take you to download Europe Pro Mods? Well, I did the premium download, so it just took a couple of minutes. I don't know how long it'll take if you're doing the slow download. Hey, welcome to Scotland. I'm doing premium next time. I was debating it. Yeah, I definitely recommend doing it with premium. Not only does it take, not only is it a lot quicker to download, but also it's only like a couple of quid, and it does go towards the development team, which I'm very happy to support the team because it's such a good project, and you know it is worth paying for. It is worth paying money for, in my opinion. So yeah, I would recommend getting the premium downloads. When's Farm Sim Friday, says Chester? This Friday. We're going to be playing Farming Sim on Friday this week. Last time I tried using Pro Mods, I used the wrong website. Oh, I see. I follow back. I think if you're on promods.net, you're okay. Promods.net is the official website. Do you need all DLC for Pro Mods? Yes, you do need all the currently released map DLCs to play, to download Pro Mods. What other games do you play? First live I've caught, says Jamie. I currently, I play Minecraft on a Monday, Euro Truck on Tuesday, Factorio on Thursday, Farming Sim on Friday, Train Simulator on Saturday, and on Sunday I do Sci-Fi Sunday. This week we're going to be doing Friday and Sunday. So we'll be doing Farming Sim on Friday, and then on Sunday we're going to be starting Oddworld Soulstorm. I don't do every single stream every single week. I like alternate between them. So on one week I'll do Minecraft, Euro Truck and Farming Sim, and then the next week I'll do Factorio, Train Simulator, and so on and so forth. Have you played Train Sim World 6 yet? I have, yeah. I'm not really as much into Train Sim World as I am Train Sim Classic. I'm a big Train Sim Classic player. What's the DLC for Europe? I don't think there is one. I'm sure I own all of them. So you will need Vive la France, Italia, Iberia, Road to the Black Sea, Beyond the Baltic Sea, Scandinavia, Going East, Greece, West Balkans. I think that's it. I think there's 9 map expansions currently. Oh god, we're losing speed. I have them, I think. If you go to Steam and you go to the store page for Euro Truck Sim, there is a list that has all of the map expansions in, so you can make sure you've got all of them. Oh my god. Okay, the visibility... I think the visibility is even worse now than it was earlier, right? This is appalling. State of it says who got talent efficient. Exactly. You barely see your hand in front of your face. I think we're doing okay for distance, though. Yeah, we're coming up towards Glasgow, so 4.5 hours. I think we could be there by past. And hopefully it stops raining in that time. we may start to lose some adhesion in the rain as well. I've noticed the truck getting a little bit slippy. Just got to bear that in mind. Don't want to go around a corner and just plough through the barrier because the rain has loosened my grip on the road. I've got an itch right under my headphones. There we go. Okay, Oban and Inverness, that is the right direction. So again, Fort William. I've been there in Train Simulator on the West Highland Line route. Not been here in Euro Truck as far as I remember. So I think we're entering new territory on this one. Preston to Carlisle is my favourite route. I do enjoy Preston to Carlisle, Jamie. I think I've got all the official UK routes, as well as quite a few third-party ones. I really like Midland Main Line by Just Trains. I think that's probably my favourite, because there's so many expansions for it as well. There's the Hope Valley line, there's the Buxton Valley, the Buxton line, there's the Erewash Valley. It's a really, really huge route, and there's so much potential for drives on it. So yeah, I think Midland Main Line by Just Trains, what a great route. Remember when you got Roadcraft, tried to play it, and you never downloaded it? I do, MJ674. And some days I wish I hadn't downloaded it, because when I did actually end up playing the game, I played it for an hour and then got it refunded. I did not enjoy the game at all. I'm sorry, any Roadcraft enjoyers out there, I'm very sorry, but I did not enjoy the game. It was, as Jamie puts it eloquently, it was crap. Not for me, not my cup of tea at all. I was expecting something a lot closer to Mudrunner and Snowrunner, and it just wasn't at all. It was such a completely different experience, and I really just didn't enjoy it. Sometimes I look back on that stream where I forgot to install the game, and I think maybe that was a sign from the universe not to play it. Okay, the speed limit is 50 here, but the roads are so tight I don't think we're going to get up to it. Not very often, anyway. Let's check the big map. Okay, and of course we're not actually going to Fort William, we're going to this farm that's like 20 miles away from Fort William. But the fast track is in pretty good condition. You know, right, I'm gonna be honest. The JCB fast track is the fastest commercially available tractor in the world. They could probably have just driven the fast track up here quicker than we could have delivered it by truck. You know Sparks, the Kadena TikToker, he loves it. I'm not sure who that is. MJ674. I think the game has its audience. You know, if you enjoy the game, I'm fine with you enjoying it, you know? I just think it's not what I was expecting. Oh, the Canadian TikToker, okay. Yeah, it's just not what I was expecting. I was expecting something a lot closer to MudRunner and SnowRunner. It's more of an arcade game, which if you're looking for that kind of game, then that's fair enough, but it's not really advertised as that kind of game, and people weren't really expecting it to be that kind of game. So I did play it on stream. We played it for about an hour, and then I was just like, you know what, this isn't really for me. Because I'd played it for less than 2 hours, I was able to get a refund on it on Steam. I'll stick to SnowRunner and MudRunner, which I think are much better experiences. If you're looking for something more realistic, stick to SnowRunner and MudRunner. Wanted something close to SnowRunner, as that was the best one they made. I do think SnowRunner is the best game from that team so far. Roadcraft gets boring after 5 minutes. That's true, Nathy Baseline Carter. The biggest problem for me, though, was the lack of damage and the lack of fuel consumption. Like, those are two of the biggest selling points of MudRunner and SnowRunner, right? Apart from the realistic mud physics, the other big selling points are the realistic damage and the realistic fuel consumption and physics, right? And neither of those things are in the game. It's like they took out like 2 of the 3 things that make SnowRunner so incredible, and they only kept the mud physics. That's like the only thing they actually kept in the game, which I really don't understand. I don't understand why you take out 2 of the biggest, most important things in those games. This is gorgeous, by the way. Can we just take a minute to appreciate the Scottish Highlands here? This is all from Pro Mods. It's absolutely beautiful. Really, really good work here. And no disrespect to SCS Software, because I do love the official DLCs and everything that they've put out, but some of the stuff in Pro Mods is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at this. This is impressive. I mean, maybe the textures on the hills are a little bit low, but everything else, I'm impressed with this. Seriously impressed with this. Isn't it annoying for the wheel to shake? You get used to it. SnowRunner is less and better. Yeah, it is. Like I say, I think SnowRunner is the best. The thing is, the difference between MudRunner and SnowRunner, like, they took MudRunner, which was essentially almost like a proof of concept. You just delivered stuff from place to place. They took that and then they expanded it by adding in the ability to, like, build bridges and do quests and stuff like that. And you would assume that Roadcraft would do the same thing, like they take SnowRunner and then take it a step further. But what they actually did was they took SnowRunner, they took everything out of it and then added in some completely unrelated stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the idea of building roads in SnowRunner is such a good idea. Like, if they just took SnowRunner and added in the road building stuff, it would have been amazing. But they added in the road building stuff and then took out all the other stuff. And it just completely ruins it. Like I say, I would love a game that was actually SnowRunner, but with the road building stuff added into it. That would be so much better. Why couldn't we get that? That's what everyone thought they were going to get. So why isn't that what we actually got? Anyway, I'm getting a little bit heated about it. I just thought it was disappointing. That's my thoughts about Roadcraft. If I could sum up Roadcraft in one word, it was disappointing. We all agree on the same thing. I'm glad we agree on it, Nathy Baseline Carter. I'm glad I've found my people. I've found the Roadcraft haters. Okay, Fort William, we're here. Nice. So, obviously we aren't actually stopping in Fort William. We're driving straight through because we need to go to this farm where we're going to be delivering. I'm not a hater of anything, I just don't really like it. I mean, I agree, MJ674. I don't hate the game. I think it has an audience, and I can definitely see that there will be people who will enjoy it. I'm just not one of those people. You drove on the line there. Sorry, Clean Chop. I'm not a good driver. Is your collar blue? Says Clean Chop. I don't actually have a collar at all on this dress. Do you have your HGV license or tractor license? I don't, MJ674. I don't drive in real life, not even a car. I've never taken a driving lesson, and I don't really want to be honest. It's never really been something that I've been personally inclined to do. You ain't got people haggling to drive them about. That's very true, Jamie. When my brother-in-law, my sister and my brother-in-law came up a couple of months ago to visit for a week. They live down in Wales. They came up to visit a couple of months ago, and my brother-in-law is pretty much the only person in the family who drives. So in the week that they were here to visit, he was just driving around almost constantly. Like, the entire week he was just in the car the whole time, because everyone wanted to see him, but he was the only one who drove. So he had to go to them. Thanks for following Italian Roadmasters and Liverpool. The entire city? Thank you. Just wants to relax, but instead has a driving holiday. Exactly, exactly. And this is after he drove here from Wales as well. It took them it was like a 6-hour drive from the south coast of Wales all the way up to Doncaster. And then he spends the entire week driving around everywhere. And then driving back as well. It's not exactly enviable. Anyway, we're here. We're at Fort William. We have delivered the JCB Fast Track, and that is where we're going to leave things for today. We're already finishing half an hour later than I was planning to on this occasion. Can you drive it off? Unfortunately not, MJ. Unfortunately not. We're not quite... Oh, we're way off the marker there. I didn't actually... I wasn't paying attention to where the cones were. Let's try that again, shall we? Oh, train. Was that a train? I think it was. Okay, there we go. Job done. Excellent. Ooh, nearly level 73. Nice one. Okay, but that is where we're going to leave Euro Truck for today. We've done quite a bit of driving. Obviously, we started all the way over in... I think it was Hamburg, wasn't it? No, it was Osnabrück. We started over in Osnabrück. We drove all the way from Osnabrück to Sheffield. Then we drove from Sheffield to Hull. And then we did Aberystwyth to Fort William. So quite a few driving miles in there today. I'm very happy with it. I don't know when the next Euro Truck stream is going to be because, again, there's going to be no stream next week because I'm busy, and there's going to be no stream the week after because my sister's coming to visit again. So there probably won't be another Euro Truck stream until November now, unfortunately. But there's plenty of other stuff coming. Obviously, we got Farming Sim coming on Friday, and lots of other stuff planned as well. I'll tell you more about that in just a second. But for the time being... Euro Truck is going to be taking a little bit of a break. So we will leave that there. Okay, 1 second, don't go away. Just pop the chat back in. Okay. And there we have it. So thank you for joining, everyone. Good stream today. It's gone well. It's gone well. I'm glad that I tried streaming a little bit earlier. I think it definitely paid off starting the stream an hour earlier than usual. I think I might do this more often in future, doing 2 till 5 instead of 3 till 6. And obviously, we did end up running over by half an hour today, but that's not really a big deal, to be honest. But it's been good. It's been a good stream. I've enjoyed the drive. I've enjoyed the conversation. Thank you everyone for chatting today. It's been a lovely drive, a lovely chat. Mostly quite respectful and everything. There were a few people, but there's always a few people. Mostly, it's been pretty good. So thank you everyone very much. Thanks everyone who followed today. If you have enjoyed but you haven't already followed, please do. I'm trying to get to 8K. By the end of the year. We've got less than 500 to go, so please do help me to make it to 8K. Follow if you haven't already, and if you want to follow on YouTube or TikTok or Twitch as well, then please do consider checking those out. If you would like to keep up to date with when I post and when I go live, and if you want to just generally chat to me outside of the live streams, then please do consider joining the Discord server. There's a link in my bio for that. And, of course, if you would like to support me financially, please do consider checking out my Patreon. Big shout out, as always, to Kate, Jess, Danny, Riley, P, Charlie, Dan, Amy, and Marika, my 9 wonderful Patreon supporters. Thank you very much, guys. Love you so much. If you are a Patreon supporter, I've just posted a new Patreon video today, so you can go and check that out right now if your name's already on this board. And if you want your name to be on this board, do check out the link in my bio. It'll take you to my Patreon. It costs £1 a month, so that's, I think it's about £1.20 after tax. But you pay that each month. You get your name on the board, you get access to behind-the-scenes content, you get early access videos, you get bloopers, you get making-of videos and stuff like that. And you'll be supporting me in what I do here on TikTok. So thank you once again to Kate, Jess, Danny, Riley, P, Charlie, Dan, Amy, and Marika. Thank you all very much for supporting me on Patreon. With that being said, that's all we have for today. Next stream is going to be Farming Sim on Friday, and there's also going to be a very, very special video being posted tomorrow. I guess I can now reveal what the video is going to be. For those of you who don't know, tomorrow will be the 4th anniversary of me publicly coming out as transgender, which is pretty big. It's a pretty big milestone for me. It's a pretty important day for me personally. So I've been working on a video. I've been working on a very special video to celebrate that occasion. That's going to be coming out tomorrow about 3 p.m. So please do consider checking that out if you are interested. Again, if you're a Patreon supporter, you can watch it right now because I released it a day early for my Patreons. Hey, Marika. Hey, how you doing? We're just about to finish, I'm sorry to say. But yeah, so tomorrow is my 4th coming out anniversary, and there'll be a video going out to celebrate that. That's going to be it. That's all I've got time for today. I'm very sorry, Marika, that you've joined right at the last minute, but thanks for joining anyway. Like I say, next stream's going to be Friday for Farming Sim, and then after that we're going to be doing Sunday. We're going to be starting Oddworld Soulstorm. So thank you very much, everyone. I will see you all on Friday. Have a good evening. Congratulations. Thank you, Marika. Don't forget to check out that Patreon exclusive early access video, by the way, if you're interested. That's it. I'm going to go now. We were supposed to end half an hour ago, so I'm going to finish up now. But thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, everyone. I will see you all on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye. And bye-bye, everyone over on YouTube and Twitch as well. See you later.